All right, recording started. So
Man, we still got 5 minutes of just shooting the shit with these guys. Oh well, they can listen to us shoot the shit in the recording too.
right. I mean, we
I
can
got
just talk shit about them too. It's
yeah.
perfect.
Oh, they can't reply right now either because they're in a.
Exactly.
Oh, this is great. I love stage channels. Let's see who's on the player list. I'm gonna start picking on people one on one. Look at Rocket Rebel over there. Ugh, can't even understand a word he says when he gets excited. Oh yeah, I gotta turn my stream on. All right, stream is going.
You should run to the bathroom then.
We can. Oh yeah, they can reply in this text channel though.
Yeah, but I don't have. If I'm not on it, then it's not getting into the meeting into the video. So
I
it's
set
all
it to like slow mode of 30 minutes,
good. Jesus.
slow mode of 2 hours.
Slow mode, 24 hours.
Come back and talk to me when the meeting's over. What happened to Bad and Cryo? Do we just give up on them or?
Oh, I think Cryo asked to be dragged.
Oh,
I just gave
Drag
up.
him.
what's Bad doing down there?
He's not down there anymore. I dragged him.
Oh, okay.
Probably bad things.
He has a
Bad
bad
ideas.
He was a bad boy.
Can everybody can hear me, right? You guys can hear? Hello? Testing, testing.
Yes.
Cool. And people in the stream, can you guys wait, people are saying they can't hear anything. Wait, how can you answer me if you can't hear me? That's what the fuck.
Troll.
Oh, you
Got
got me.
him.
Good.
Got him.
Jesus Christ, I need to eat more Halloween candy. You trolled the shit out of me. Who was that? I gotta scroll back up. Who the hell did that?
Fan.
Asian Pride.
Banned.
Ban.
Jesus. Yeah, the problem is if you listen to the stream, it'd probably be delayed. You probably should mute the stream and listen to Discord. Would be the smart way to do it, I would think.
If they're really
Especially when
they'd mute
especially when I
both.
go to like when I go to show off when I go to show off the map tour and all that stuff. If you listen to Discord, it'll be instant. If you listen in the stream, it'll be like, wait, what are you showing?
Well, I mean, your stream's delayed, so at that point, it'd actually be better.
Oh,
to
yeah.
listen to the.
I guess
the
it'll be
stream.
even at that point, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's true. That's true. No, it's not two different Discords. It's just the stream and then here. The stream is so you can. The stream is not as important at the beginning, just unless you want to see my mouse moving around as I anxiously move it. I guess could always fly around inside the map, but then I get
Where's
distracted.
Bailey Cam?
I don't have Bailey Cam on today, man. You know, I just I don't know. I don't even
You know,
what the fuck-
people only tune in for Bailey Cam.
So here's the problem. I got 60 seconds before we get started. So here's the problem with Bailey Cam right now. Why it's not on. So Bailey is not allowed on furniture, period, ever, unless he's invited. And even that is a recent development. And you know, it's one of the things like, you know, we have like a special blanket we'll put down on the couch if we're watching a movie together, you know, let him jump up and lay down in between us or something like that. So he's not allowed to touch furniture even with a paw unless he is invited up. Well, my wife's been inviting him up on the bed so damn much. We have a giant blanket over the bed so he doesn't get fur on the comforters and stuff. We've been inviting him up on the bed so much lately. Well, no, the wife has. That suddenly little Mr. Thing thinks that's his fucking bed now. Like literally, I guarantee you, if I walk in my room, he's on my bed, curled up in a ball in the middle of it. And every time I go in there now, he's in my damn bed, and I'm like, what the hell is going on?
He just likes the smell of you guys and wants to be close to it.
Oh, it's annoying, dude. And if I don't call him up, then I get like lynched. Like the wife will start, why don't you let him up? And then he's over there looking at me on the edge of the bed, like staring at me, like, yeah, why don't you let me up? And I'm like, fine, fucking jump up here. And he's always got to lay right in between us. So, you know, it's like, I feel like I'm single now. I always got this fucking dog in between. He's like, yeah, that's what it looks like. Yeah, exactly what he just posted right there. That's how I work all day with his nose in my lap. This dog drives me nuts. Mac, I'm leaving him with you in December.
Oh fuck yeah.
Yeah.
I'll take him.
For those who don't know, I finally get to meet Mac. His parents, I guess, that's who you're going to see.
Yeah, yeah. They live.
Yeah, his parents live probably about 20 minutes from my parents, and we both are going down there for Christmas. So we're gonna hook up.
Admin team will send send our regrets to you there, T.
I'm scared. He'd like all the. I don't. If he doesn't have shoes and socks on, I'm leaving.
Wait, that You never told me I had to wear them.
Well, I'm just telling you, man.
Oh, God damn it.
You've now been told you must wear shoes and socks.
Well,
Nothing
it's-
else, though. He did not require any
That is
other
true. That is
article of
true. I
clothing.
don't have to wear pants.
Eternal. The reason I really want to meet him is I've always wanted to get the lead singer of Metallica's autograph, and that's. All right, so we gotta get started here. We're a minute late now. Look what we did.
Oh,
Today, Junior.
And now somebody's putting in a damn support ticket. Really? Oh, somebody looking for the. I am lost and looking for the server meeting.
Aw.
One of you guys can hit that one. It's
Yeah, I'll take care of it. Okay.
Already on it.
the server meeting channel. All right.
Sharkgate can't find the server meeting.
All right. So, oh, by the way, everybody give a congrats. Cryo just got married. Haha, I called you out in front of all these people. Cryo just got married yesterday. Congrats,
Yay.
Cryo.
Off the market,
congrats.
ladies.
Yeah, he's already
And
made
gentlemen.
mistakes.
sucker.
Can you donate your prize to whoever you guys choose? What prize? I don't know what prize you're talking about. Oh, well, the Halloween kit was, I mean, nobody's going to care. Tomorrow's PvP day. The Halloween kit was supposed to be, you know, for this weekend, like, you know, for Halloween. Halloween's over. You can still have it. You have to wait now. I'm in a server meeting. Okay, we got to go. Server meeting time. Here's the stream link. If anybody needs it. There it is. Okay, so for those that are new here, blah, blah, blah. God, I go through the same speech every time. I need to just record this and play it. Yeah, for those that are new here, I have a list of notes that I keep throughout the month. Well, we all keep, the whole team, not just me. Just things that pop up, things that we think of, or things that we want to discuss. We go through those notes. We also discuss any changes we're making, anything that's getting, you know, revamped or deleted or added or changed. At the end of the meeting, I usually, we all spread out to the servers and give you guys prizes for attending the meeting. And while we're doing that, I boot up the test server and I jump on there and I usually stream sometimes new plugins that we're working on, sometimes a new map. Tonight, it will be a brand new map that I've been working on a bunch this week. So make sure you're in the stream if you want to be able to see that when we get to that part. During the meeting, feel free to type and chat in the meeting channel all you want, post memes, stupid shit, whatever. We don't really pay attention to that during the meeting, so if you're asking us questions, just hold off until the end, because at the end of the meeting, we do have a Q&A session, actually right before the map preview, so not at the very, very end, where we let players ask questions, make comments, give feedback, you know, solicit MacLear for sexual favors, whatever. You guys will have a chance to do that after the admins go down the list of notes that we have to go over. And for those who haven't been seeing my spam in the server, this is a pretty important meeting, so definitely pay attention. We got some big changes coming up. Obviously, those will be towards the end of the list of notes here. Also, admin team, don't let me forget to turn off the spam, so I can stop spamming everybody with the meeting. Okay, starting on my list of notes. Let's see. Oh, and for those that are new again, I always kind of read my note to myself first, just to make sure I'm not being a smartass or make sure I wasn't in a bad mood the day I wrote it. So give me 1 second. Let me read the first one here. Oh yeah, I think I may have typed this one twice in this meeting note list. Actually, this is a pretty major one. I may even hand, after I read the initial note and say something, I may hand this off to Aliana. She's much better at explaining this than I am. So Aliana, be prepared.
Okay.
So our content is not going to be for all of our players. We have a wide spectrum of players to cater to. If something is not built to your play style or skill level, or even your group size, move on. There's plenty of other content out there, and the same goes with our quests. I'm going to do a nutshell version and then let Aliana go. I'm going to unleash her on you. The nutshell version is, like, we have to cater to literally the most role-playing, hey, I bought my wife Rust so she would play it with me, you know, type character that just wants to build cute little bases and decorate them. We have to cater to those people all the way up to, you know, the adopteds and the morph ghosts who want to just literally obliterate all content in their path. And everybody in between, though, that's the problem. So we have to cater to all these types of people with our content. And we ain't gonna talk about the kind of role playing you do. all the content, all the different levels of skill and all that kind of stuff. And it's physically impossible. Like we cannot, if we make, Wookie, I'm gonna use your woman as an example because she likes to just farm and do her little thing. If we used Mal if we catered all our content to Mal, then the rest of you guys would be bored shitless and wouldn't play on our server. It'd be like, really? That's all you got? If we catered all our content to people like Adopted, then everybody else, myself included, honestly, because I'm not even on that level, everybody else would quit the server because it's too fucking hard. So we can't hit every skill level. What we try to do is include content for all. And the reason that this is even being brought up at the meeting, and again, I'm about to unleash Aliana on you guys. The reason this is being brought up is we have a lot of players that wherever they fall on that scale of 1 to 10, as far as, gameplay and difficulty and stuff, wherever they fall, they're expecting all the content to be, their level. So if you're a 7, you're not quite the Adopted, but you're not quite a role player. You're like around a 6 or a 7. They're expecting everything on the map to be a 6 or a 7. From Zombie Island all the way down to just a tiny little roadside monument to the quests to everything. We can't do that. We can't make all content for just your skill level. We have to cover everybody. Aliana, they are all yours.
I mean, honestly, I think you handled it pretty well. The thing about it is just that we all are making some level of compromise. There's not a single person on our server who isn't. For a lot of the players, it is building too big. They want to build their castles, and I mean that's how I want to build when I play as well. For a lot of players, it is dealing with lag, or dealing with chat spam, or dealing with waiting for rig to respond. It doesn't really matter specifically what you're compromising on. Just understand that it's a everybody type of thing. For me, when I build, I love to build houses. I want to have signs everywhere. I want to see pictures of my dog. I want all that stuff, but I can't. And what I've been trying to tell people is just try to take it in turns. I mean, a good portion of the people who play on our server are returning players, so maybe one wipe you'll do a house that is centered around your pool, and you want to have the whole pool pit set up and stuff like that. Then don't do a dance floor or something like that. And if you want to do like a big disco, then maybe don't put your pool there. Similarly, if you want to have a big base, I've got all these different needs. I'm gonna have a place for a garage. I've got to have a place for a garden. Consider spreading that out a little bit. Overall, it's just us building on top of each other. That I mean, it's nothing new. You guys have heard it before. And the same thing goes for everything else that we do. I mean, even like our raids and stuff, we try to have a wide degree of difficulty. Now, if I walk into a Nightmare raid on Wood Armor, I'm probably gonna get owned. And that's not anyone's fault but mine for walking into that kind of stuff. Every single wipe day 1, I see somebody complaining in general chat about how hard a monument is when I know that they've not been playing long enough to even be in gear, and they're having a hard time because they've walked into a red monument and are having issues with snipers. So that's really all it comes down to, is play to your level, and if you're willing to go outside of that, then you're accountable, and consider that everything you do has impacts to those around you. That's really the basic crux of it all.
Yep. The main thing that made me write the note was content. I've had multiple players over the last month, complaining that oh, this content is just fucking impossible. It's bullshit. Well, who was with you? Oh, me and my friend. Okay, well that content was designed for literally a full team of 8 that they've done everything there is to do in the game, and it's 2 days left till wipe, and they're bored as hell, and they want something that's just physically impossible to throw themselves at and lose a bunch of their gear, which they have too much of anyway. That's what that monument was for. Obviously, I'm referring to Zombie Island there. Then I have people complaining at other things like, well, this is a cheese monument, so stupid and easy. I just sit there and I just put a TP spot next to it and keep farming it for loot. Well, then go do something else if it's too easy. We have to have content for all levels of gameplay, including the impossible level of gameplay. We have to have content on there that 90% of you guys cannot accomplish and will never accomplish because it's just too difficult. Myself included, by the way. If I had to rate myself on that scale, I'd be like a 4. I'm not even that good at the game. I can't run half our content. When I finally get to play a wipe in December, hopefully, I guarantee you half the content on my own map I will not be touching because it's too hard for me. The difference is I'm not going to complain about it. I'm not going to say, well, that's bullshit. I can't. I just keep dying. This is a bullshit. These NPCs are too hard. This monument's too hard. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to move on to something else that fits more in my playstyle. I think that's the disconnect. You guys got to realize not everything is designed around your skill level and your playstyle. And again, that's myself included. So just find what is and stick with that stuff. You can't expect us to cater it all to one type of person. So that was that. Moving on. Please read the quest and the quest graphics sign. We are bending this plugin over backwards to make it do some really interesting things that it wasn't meant to do. But it has its limitations. We get around 5 tickets a wipe from people who were doing quests for like the rescue missions or the secret missions, and they mess something up, and they're unable to progress any further because they got rid of a part of the quest, or they recycled it and instead of taking the next quest or whatever. We have to use non-obtainable items for these chain quests. So we need our players to really, read the instructions and make sure you pay attention to what you're doing. I actually stomped my foot down the other day on the admin team, like, no more. This was like a week ago, I think. I was like, we're done. That's it. I think somebody was handling another ticket like this. And I'm like, you know what? Don't even ask me. Just do what you got to do. This is the final ticket. We are done, fixing people. Oh, I accidentally got rid of this quest item. Now I can't go any further. Well, then, pay more attention. That's like saying, hey, I accidentally wasn't looking where I was flying my minicopter and I smashed into a mountain and died. Well, I mean, that's not really on us. I think we do a pretty good job of providing as much information as we can on the quest. We have a big sign every single wipe. The admin team has to fly to every server and we paste that sign down by hand. It's not an automated thing to make sure everybody understands how the quests work. And then, of course, the quest details, the instructions, the description of the quests when you click them in the menu. Aliana hand wrote all those. I mean, we can't get any more descriptive than this. So if you mess up one of your own quests, I'm sorry. I know the admins have been bending over and trying to help out and trying to get you reset and stuff. I literally put my foot down a week ago and said, no more. We're not doing that anymore. If someone messes up their own quest, they're just going to have to live with it until the quest cooldown is over with. I know it makes me sound like a dick, but you have to understand it's a constant thing. Like, the tickets are every single day. And it'd be different if, we design something so super complex that it's confusing. No, it's just like, hey, just read what it says. Don't delete the stuff it gives you for the next quest. So that's that. Moving on. Well, this one's kind of a moot point now. If the BS troll suggestions continue, I will be removing the suggestion features from our Discord. I'm getting really tired of having to filter through the BS. Yeah, people were trolling me with suggestions, like just literally just to troll me. They weren't actual suggestions. I already deleted that bot. I did make a suggestions channel where you guys can post forums or whatever and talk about it. But come on, guys. Remember, no new plugins. We're not taking any suggestions for new plugins. And, I think I put instructions somewhere with that, but be thoughtful with your suggestions. Make them actually, have a real solution to them, and not like, hey, I think it'd be cooler if the monuments were nicer. That's not a suggestion. That doesn't help me at all. So moving on. Hold on, I got to read this one. When I start my sentence off with, not sure why I'm having to explain this again, probably getting sassy. I got to read this one first. Oh, okay, that's the one we just touched on about not all content is catered towards you. Yeah. We have 1,500 players per wipe, so that's a lot of people we have to cater to. I'm sorry, I'm reading my next note here. Oh, okay, Zombie Island. So I'm guessing over the years, our player base has shifted to players that are too new to remember what Zombie Island is all about. So let me explain how it began, where it is now, and where it is meant to be. So way back in the beginning, and I'll be quick, we have a lot to discuss tonight. You couldn't really do any kind of custom monuments back then. You could take, stuff that was in the game, you could slap it down. There was no real good stuff to work with. The map editor was a pain in the ass. None of the hotkeys, none of the tools. It was literally just, even putting a wall together was a pain in the ass back then. Nothing like it is now. So the most you could do back then, we made an island. There was no custom monuments back then. But we wanted something cool and challenging and different. So we made an island and literally just told our bot plugin, hey, spawn 60 fucking zombies here and give them a 5-second respawn timer. And make them tanky and make them do more damage. I don't know who's in this chat because the memes are scrolling by so fast. But to anybody that was around, way back then, we're talking Splatter, and we're talking the very first Zombie Island. Yeah, Pizza was around. She knows. You don't understand. I used to personally host Zombie Island raids. I would advertise it in chat, say, hey, Who wants to go just die at Zombie Island? Let's go have some fun. I'll pick you up in a Chinook. And I used to fly a Chinook and pick up players all around the map. No admin cheating, no spawning in gear. It was well known. Hey, you bring what you're going to bring, and you're going to die, and you're probably going to lose it. So just be ready for that. And we would literally go out there 20, 30, maybe even 40 players deep sometimes, dude. And we would all get wiped. I mean, fucking wiped. We would lose everything. And it was a fucking hoot. People just screaming and dying and just swarms of zombies all over us. And I mean, so bad that you're like half a frame per second because there's just, that's where we got the rule. Remember the old rule, no incense on Zombie Island? This is where that came from, is because so everybody's freaking out. They're starting to throw incense rockets, trying to burn all the zombies because you're just getting swarmed. The zombies were on a 5-second respawn timer, 5 seconds. And there were 60 to 80 of them at once because we didn't have any other NPCs anywhere else on the map because there was no custom monuments back then. So you're just getting swarmed. It was insane. And like the players loved it. It was a hoot. Every weekend we would do like a raid Zombie Island thing, and you just lose all your shit. It's just fucking fun. And nobody cared. Nobody cared. Now, over the time, we started getting custom monuments. So we started leaning away. You know, Zombie Island wasn't the only thing to do. You know, and now players, like, it got easier because we had to move a lot of the zombies out of there to use that AI space. You know, we have only so much AI we can have. We had to start using some of that AI for the custom monuments we had. So that made less zombies on Zombie Island. So then players started using it as an ATM machine. They would just go perch on a rock somewhere and just farm zombies. The zombies they couldn't throw stuff back then. So they would just stand at the base of the rock grunting at you, and you could just sit there and shoot them all day long with a 5-second respawn timer and just unlimited RP, unlimited cloth, whatever. So we started adding what we call anti-perch zombies. Those were the guys with the guns. And yeah, some players be, well, zombies got a gun. Well, that's because you're sitting on a rock sniping them all. So we started introducing those, and that kept it balanced for a while. Anyway, the point being is, slowly, Zombie Island got easier and easier and dumber because players kept complaining, oh, it's too hard. And all the original OG players from the old school days of Zombie Island, you know, have stopped playing Rust, or they're just doing other things. And all the newer players, it's just so hard. And it's just like, that's how it's meant to be. Zombie Island is meant to be, if you take a team of 8 and you go raid that thing in full gear, you're losing most of your shit. You're probably going to have about 6 corpses to go rescue. That's what it's meant to be. That's what it was always meant to be. If that's too hard for you, don't go there. There's a reason that it was an island. The only time I remember on Splatter, it actually had a little bridge connecting it to the mainland, and we actually had like signs and stuff. They're like, yo, warning, don't go in here. You will die and not get your shit back. It was supposed to be that hard. And it always was that hard. And now, like, I'm serious. We get tickets and we get players like Rage Quit. I'm just not going to play on the server anymore if you're not going to give me my stuff back. Of like 1 or 2 players going to Zombie Island and getting wiped out and expecting us to like just give them their gear back. It's like, dude, like that is supposed to, there's a reason Zombie Island has its own color on the map for difficulty. It is supposed to be insane, impossible, lose all your gear, you know, and that's it. I really don't know how else to explain it. Like, but it's got to stop with the whole, like, you know, complaining. Like, Zombie Island is so freaking easy right now. It is embarrassing. I'm going to tell you right now, and I'm actually going to be focusing on trying to bring it back up. It's hard to do because we can't put a bunch of AI there now because of raid bases. But if a team of less than 6 people can survive Zombie Island and get all the loot, I failed, and I'm going to be working on making that not possible. So just keep that in mind in the future. It is not meant to be possible for, you know, anything under a full group. And even then, you know, 20 players, 30 players, we used to get wiped back then. I agree. Make it great again. I miss it. I'm embarrassed with how easy Zombie Island is now. All right. And before anybody says, but there's a final quest NPC there. That's another thing I forgot to touch on. When I say the content isn't designed around all players, I mean quests too. You know, some of the, like, we came up with a bunch of farming type quests to give the same type of rewards that the raiding and nightmare base quests give, because some farmers can't raid nightmare bases. So we're trying to provide content for every type of player. The farmers can have their uber elite quests. The raiders can have their uber elite quests. Well, the same thing goes with the Where's Waldo quest line. That 4th quest, the final one, I actually even considered making a 5th one that's even harder. The 4th quest, the Roadrunner, I think. That quest is not meant to be possible for 90% of you. You're not supposed to be able to complete that quest. There's a reason that reward is so good and that you want to complete it so bad, but that's not meant to be possible. So we've literally had players complaining like this is such horse shit. You know, I can't complete this quest line because the final part of it is in Zombie Island with a boss and a Bradley and all this other shit. And yeah, that's kind of the point. That's supposed to be the end all be all. I've literally beaten this video game. I have nothing left to do now. Quest. You're not supposed to be able to just waltz right in and beat it with a couple players. Yeah, I mean, if you want to run it with 10 people, run it with 10 people. It is not meant to be completed by everybody. Nightmare raids are not meant to be completed by everybody. I personally have never even completed a fucking hard raid on my own server. Nightmares are not meant to be completed by everybody. Those insane farming ones were like, how the fuck am I supposed to farm that much stuff and that much time? That's because those are meant for people who that's all they do is farm. They don't do the other content. And the same thing with that quest. That quest is not meant to be possible for 90% of the players. Period. So please stop complaining or putting in tickets because it's too hard to complete. It's not meant to be completed unless you're just insane. All right, moving on. Sorry. Ooh, I'm gonna get rolling on that topic. If you ever figured it out, the one topic that gets me steamed is like difficulty. I don't like my server to be easy. It drives me nuts. And I have half the admin team fighting me to make it easier, the other half fighting to make it harder. It's a constant struggle. Okay, moving on. Lost my place here. I accidentally scrolled. Sorry. Okay, here we are. This is Oh, this is from Mac. I'll hit it, Mac. It's an easy one. If you have an issue with a raid base, you think it's too hard, too much boom, or you suck at the game, good job, Mac. Then put a ticket in. Don't flood the submission channel with this stuff. Yeah, I got rid of the raid support channel because they weren't using it for actual support. They were using it for like, oh, this raid's bullshit. I can't find it. You know, there's like a twig frame around a metal door on an easy. And they're like, this is bullshit. There's a metal door. Like, did you take the time to look around? Maybe there's like a trick to it. So yeah, don't use the submission channel for raid-based stuff. If there's actually a problem, put a ticket in. And if there is a problem with the raid, like, you know, half of it's underground, whatever, put a ticket in before you raid the damn thing. Like, we keep getting people putting a ticket in like, hey, I raided a base, there's no TC, half the raid was underground, I couldn't get the loot, and blah, blah, blah. Well, all right, we'll be right there. Oh, no, it's gone. It's been gone for a couple hours now. Well, what the hell? We can't do anything about that.
Yeah, I'm going to try him on this a little bit too. That's not just for like, oh, hey, like, this base looks weird or whatever. Like, if you're launching rockets or like you threw a C4 on a door and it doesn't explode, like, don't keep throwing C4. Don't keep raiding it. Pause, put a ticket in and be like, yo, something going wonky with this raid, and we'll come over and check it out. Otherwise, like, if you don't wait for us, like, you're shit out of luck. Like, I'm not gonna give you your
don't throw
boom
20
bag or
C4 and then tell us you threw 20 C4 in the door and it didn't blow up anything. Throw one C4, realize it didn't blow it up, maybe throw a second one. Cool. Put a ticket in.
As
By the
well,
way,
record. Like, if you record shit, it makes life 100 times easier too.
Oh, don't worry, we're touching on that for sure tonight. That's a true scenario, by the way. We have tickets that come in literally, hey, I put 30 rockets into this door and it's not blowing up. Can you come fix this raid and give me all my rockets back? No. You know, after like the second or maybe even third, I'll give you. After the third rocket, why are you still throwing rockets at it? You know what the definition of insanity is, right? Like, come on. So just put a ticket in. If you put a ticket in and you're like, well, yeah, but it's late at night, it might be a minute. That's fine. If we need to spawn you a new base because it took us too long to get to your ticket, but you had a recording showing us what was happening, don't worry. You're going to get everything you need to make yourself right again. I promise you that. If you have a recording of all this fuck shit going on with a raid, you're going to get a new raid. You're going to get your cooldown timers reset. You're going to get some of your materials back. You're going to get all that shit if you have a recording. If you don't get a recording and you wait till 2 hours later and the raid's gone, we can't help you. I'm sorry. We just can't. Unless your name is adopted, then you're not getting shit. All right, moving on. Sorry, there's a long one. I'm just reading it real quick here. Oh yeah, this one actually is not that bad lately. I think we must have just had a really bad one that one time that made me put this note in here. Because honestly, you guys have been fucking stellar at this one lately. I haven't seen this. This used to be a daily thing, and now it's maybe once every 2 months. It's not that often, so I like that. Store errors on your end. I have huge walls of red text warning you to not make mistakes. I have multiple screens that you have to verify that you are purchasing what you intend to purchase. Your rush to not read any of that does not get fixed by me. Period. We do not offer refunds for any reasons. We never have, and we never will, especially for carelessness. There are zero exceptions to this because even flat donations give you RP and supply drops and stuff immediately. I'm done giving people. I'm done giving more to people who refuse to read. Basically, we get people that come in, they click the wrong thing or whatever in the store. The store is so self-explanatory. It has so many warnings and so many pages of clicking, yes, this is what I'm trying to do. Stop being in a rush. Just read it. Because then they come to me and they expect me to go back and all I'm doing is just handing them free stuff at that point. Like it's just you got to read, people. Got to read. And again, this is pretty much to nobody in this channel because this rarely happens anymore, but it used to be a huge problem. And I think it did happen like once in October, which is why I had a note in there for it. But I haven't seen any names go by in this chat so far that have this problem. So to all of you in the chat, thank you for actually reading. Moving on. This is from Bushwookie. Remind players why it's important to open tickets instead of DMs. Just because something is happening live doesn't give you all access to pass to DM and admin. Yeah. Well, not only that, but you don't know what we're doing right now. We could be in the middle of something else. I get that a lot. I've had people literally, you'll see me in chat in server saying like, hey guys, how's everybody doing on main one? What you don't realize is I'm actually flying to a situation that I'm trying to handle. It just happened to be that in that split moment, I'm just saying hi. So just because you see me chatting doesn't mean I'm available for 15 million. Hey, admin, come here for a second. Can you come look at this? Why is the admin ignoring me? Like, dude, I'm in the middle of answering something else. Like, you know me, if I'm in server, there's probably something going on. So just put in tickets. It takes 2 seconds to click the support bot. It's not that hard. The reason, I know we explain this at every meeting, the reason the support bot is so expensive, so important, that was a good one. So important is because it lets us determine which admin is best suited to handle that. Not just suited to handle it, but availability. Like you may see me in the server, but you may not realize Cryo's in the server and he ain't doing shit right now, whereas I am. So you're telling me, hey T, come do this. Well, T's fucking ignoring me. No, I'm busy. If you would have put a ticket in, Cryo would have easily said, oh shit, I know T's in the middle of something, so I can go handle that. At the same time, if something you're asking me about has to do with a quest, I don't know shit about quests, by the way. If you guys haven't figured this out yet, Aliana's the quest person. If it's got something to do with quests, if you would have put a ticket in, she would have seen that and she would have answered you. If you're bugging me through PMs or you're asking me in chat, I don't know anything about the damn quest. I literally couldn't name a single quest we have right now. And it's my server. Couldn't name a single one. So please put tickets in. We're best equipped to know who can handle the problem and when they can handle it and how they can handle it. And it's a learning experience for the other admins and the newer staff members that we hire to be able to see how we take care of things. They can't learn shit if it's just me and you PMing each other. So, if you're sending me nudes, that's fine, but everything else, no, put it in a support ticket. I guess you could put nudes in a support ticket too. The admin.
Yeah, we'd enjoy that too.
Depends upon which admins get the ticket.
Well, it's always logged, so.
Also depends on who's sending the nudes.
Yeah, that too. That's the real important part. All right, moving on. This one says, Aliana to recover. Cool, that gives me a break. Go ahead, Aliana.
Yeah, and if you want, like, I can handle a couple of the next ones as well. It's just to you. Just
okay,
tell you
go
to
ahead.
stop whenever you're ready.
Yeah.
So, if you can't tell the tone of this meeting, we kind of got our ass kicked last month. Lots of complaints about various things that have always been the standard. I think it's just like a lot of new players who maybe don't understand how things go. And on top of that, the Halloween update just like borked our stuff. It's been bad. It's been bad. I don't want to go into next categories, but overall, a lot of this is just in response to just kind of level with everybody and get on the same page. One of the things that I wanted to take note on is really about constructive feedback. Overall, like, we're receptive to making changes. We do alter things based on feedback a lot of times. I forget specifically which NPC was setting somebody off or causing some kind of problem, but the way that they went about it was just, oh my god, this is the worst, this is so overtuned, this is unfair, the server sucks, blah blah blah, and just this whole tirade. And it's like, yo, like you could have just said the NPCs are overtuned and unkillable, and that would have been something that could have been actionable for us. But instead, you just reamed us. And the thing is, I always say, I mean, I say it pretty much in any meeting that I talk. We're not devs. None of us are, except for Nivix. We're doing our best to configure things, but we're gonna make mistakes. And having as many players as we have is awesome because you guys help us find those mistakes. But when you're giving feedback, try really hard to be constructive. I mean, um, provide why it's a problem, and not just because you're having a hard time, because there's other people who wouldn't, depending on if it's skilling or whatever type of, maybe you're just barreling through because you're a little bit tilted, and it's no judgment because I've been there. But the thing is that when you're powerhousing into a wall of NPCs, you're going to get messed up every single time. So the whole point of me saying this is just please be constructive with the feedback you want to give. We're okay getting negative feedback. The people who really want to get into fights with us about it are the ones that we get upset at. And but other than that, negative feedback is what helps everybody grow. But please make sure that you're being helpful and getting us there. So again, as I say every meeting, the people who are here don't need to hear this. But in general, if you guys see other people saying that kind of stuff, I mean, feel free to point them at us, and you let them know like that we're doing the best that we can, basically. So I don't know, kind of floundered there at the end there, but I hope that you understand. You guys can understand what I'm getting at. Yeah, exactly. It's just respect. Respect. That's it. I said I would cover a couple of T's notes so that he can get water or whatever. We got a new Discord overhaul. Everything's in new channels and categories. Hopefully you guys like it. The initial point of us getting here was to try to put things almost together in like a wiki so that it would be a little bit easier to search. Under the channel section of support bot, there's a table of contents, and you should be able to use the search bar to look up phrases or specific keywords and help point you to the place that you might need. In addition to that, we've also broken out the servers by their different categories. When you react, you get to see that group of servers for your server under server info. Make sure that you are tagged for your server. I mean, again, I think anybody who's in this meeting is, because I don't think you can see this channel if you're not. But if you have a new friend who joins and they join our server, make sure that they react to the server that they're playing on. On top of that, we've also introduced forums. And I don't think that they're getting much use yet, but I want to make sure that you guys know about that feature. I mean, we've had at times people ask if we could offer some kind of like offline trading channel because people want to do trades for RP, not vending machine trades, but they can't seem to catch people online. Maybe that might be something that would be useful. Or if you're really wanting to run Zombie Island for your quest guy, but you're a solo player and you don't really know anybody, maybe you could put a post on the forums and offer, hey, does somebody have some time this weekend that we could maybe group up and run Zombie Island? So hopefully you guys like the new Discord. I know it takes some getting used to. It is a little bit more clean and organized. It will grow on you, I promise. It's grown on me, but just want to make sure everybody knows about those changes. The next one is something that we've covered in the past. For anyone who's new, you should know the proper process to report a player to us would be in our ticketing system. You have to link in game /link in game will get you there. Then you can open a ticket under support. If you've got a problem with a player because they are harassing you or breaking a server rule, that's one thing. If you're playing on PvP day and you think someone is suspicious and you want to report them for hacking, the way that you want to do that is start with the report to Facepunch, which is the F7 button. And there you can provide your justification. We'll only take those kinds of reports if they come with definitive proof. So you need to be clipping, you need to be recording, you need to have more information than, oh, his shots are just real good. We're not going to go through the process of properly investigating somebody without having just cause. But it's important to understand the difference about how to report to us because of server specific issues or how to report to Facepunch because of Facepunch issues. And F7 will go directly to Facepunch. So if you say F7 reports somebody because they are stealing your car, which is against the server rules, Facepunch doesn't care. So F7 for Facepunch for cheaters that you don't have proof, and support bot for anything you want us to be handling for you. F7s will not get responded to as far as server stuff goes. Hopefully that's clear.
Yeah.
Next up, we're working on a lot of things to try to improve performance. Obviously we have been really going ham lately, especially on main one about builds. I want to talk about custom build spots just a little bit. We want to have a lot of those on the map. I know players really love them. I know it's always kind of a rush. There's kind of some etiquette around them, to make sure that you're not camping them and, letting everyone kind of have a chance to, have the enjoyment of building in a cool prefab. The thing is, though, that some of those prefabs are pretty massive. They're pretty big. And we have always taken the time to try to cull them down a little bit. But the amount of effort that we have to go into as map makers for those prefabs is pretty crazy, because the thing is that we've learned that if we don't block off every single nook and cranny, it gets built in. And sometimes that results in people having way bigger than normal bases than they would be allowed. So maybe it's a giant like platform. People will fill that entire platform up with empty space just because they can. I want to encourage you guys to understand the limitations and confines of those kinds of build spots. We'll do what we can to limit them on our side, but just because you're in a custom build spot doesn't mean that you get to break our server rules for building. You still need to be building correctly. You need to try to live within the space. Don't cover it all up and build around it and put walls up around it and stuff. I mean, the reason that we built those and put those up is because we want people to be able to see them and enjoy them. And if you've covered it up with an entire shell and you've got foundations flooring the entire thing, I mean, it just kind of takes away the effort. So yeah, just please be mindful about building in custom spots.
Don't surround them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Real quick, Aliana, on that note, we've had players who have not wanted other people building nearby, even to their custom spot. We do have build guidelines. You are able to protect that custom building with external TCs as long as they're up against your build priv as close as possible. Don't throw down foundations and spread them all over God's creation and block builds, please. It's just wasted entities that we have to come and clean up.
I'm gonna hit on that. Sorry.
I was just gonna say I'd be more in favor of a 2x2 in a custom build spot than a 11x14,
True.
which is what we've seen in some of them.
Which we've been shrinking down the custom build spots in the map editor lately because we're tired of, we build a giant iceberg ring. So what do people do? They fill it as hard as they can with every entity they can. I was like, well, okay, I'm gonna have to shrink that. So also, what's funny is we get both sides of the coin. We get players bitching that other players built too close to them and wanting us to do something about it. Like, we can't make players move. Like, we just, and then at the same time, though, we've had players put tickets in, like, they built too close to me, I demand they move. And you go and look, and they're like a fucking grid away. It's like, dude, they're not even, like, you literally couldn't even yell to them. You'd have to, like, fly over on your minicopter. They're not even close. So we can't make players, do that kind of stuff. If you don't want somebody to build near you, go build somewhere where you don't think players are going to want to build. So
yeah, I was gonna say, like, I fly around the map, folks, and I'm more looking at some of as the main one, main two, folks. Like, there's tons of open space in certain parts of the map, and then we're all cluster fucking basically in the middle here, for lack of better terms. It just spread out. It's what it comes down to. The other thing I wanted to add to just the whole building close to each other thing. Hang out nearby that other person's base, and when you see someone pop by, have a conversation. We literally had a ticket because of this particular situation, and by the time we got in, they're like, oh, I'm actually talking to the person, and they said, yeah, they had no problem moving. And it came down to, I was building in the dark, and I was needing a place to call home temporarily, but I had to go away. Well, great, you're gonna move, excellent, thank you for being a really good person for the community. Have the conversation with the other person, even if it means hanging out near their base once in a blue moon for a little bit.
Also, sorry.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, Pisa, you said that doesn't work, like telling them not to build up each other's ass. I know it doesn't work. What I'm trying to get across to everybody is we can't get involved. Like, I can't come in there and say, hey, Hawk likes having a forest around her house and she's mad that you built right next to her and cleared some of it out. I can't do that. It's a video game, and Hawk is just, and I'm not trying to pick on Hawk. I know she likes the whole RP and atmosphere of her base, so I used her as an example. I can't make, just like I can't make Hawk not build in a forest, or build on a nice mountainside with a good sunset scene, I can't make the other player not build there either. You see what I'm saying? We just can't get involved is what we're trying to get across. It's not our place to tell. I know it sucks and I know it's annoying, but we can't do that because that just opens up a whole new can of worms, of as far as like liability goes for us. Well, why'd you tell that player to move? You ain't gonna tell this one to move, or why'd you tell him to move? And now you're not. No, we can't do that. We don't get involved in that. So
Jimmy,
spread
keep
out.
going.
Let's see what's next. I forgot. So basically, spread out on your own accord.
Or if you build up someone's ass, don't bitch about it.
Yeah, you can definitely do the next one from Wookie there, Eliana. That's an easy one there. Like answer the questions.
Yeah. So, well, and I think you
I got an
have a
example.
post about this
I'm
later.
I'm going to get the example. Where the hell is that?
Okay. So, our new ticketing system, it comes with some pre-designed questions, and we've already talked about this with you guys before. But the whole point of it is, when we used to get tickets, it would be like, okay, who are you? Where do you play? What's your problem? And it would just be this like really back and forth type of thing. We didn't put these questions in here to waste your time. We put them in to actually make the whole process faster. So when we get things that say, be as specific as possible, and it says, I think I have a bug, or what server are you on? And it's hello. I don't even remember or know who this ticket was from, but we've also had things like, what problem are you having? Rust. And it's like, well, yeah, I mean, so do I. But
Oh, these ones I'm posting, these are real tickets I'm posting, by the way, guys. I've been saving these all week.
None.
So in general, try to help us help you. And part of that is sometimes we get tickets and, maybe we might be a couple minutes behind opening them, but we open them and say, a question or a response or something, and then we just get nothing back. I've had a couple really weird tickets where they send in a ticket and I pick it up immediately and they just don't respond. It comes back to you as a DM, and also part of that might be because Discord's done this dumb thing. DMs are now like kind of hidden. You have to go and approve them, so be advised for that. But just unless you're putting a ticket in at like 2 or 3 in the morning, we're Johnny on the spot on these tickets. We're gonna respond, and please be engaged for that process. We know you guys want to go play and everything else, but you're stopping us from doing what we want to do as well while we wait to handle the issue. So just keep that in mind. Our time is valuable as well.
Well, the next one's yours.
Oh, is it?
Oh yeah.
No, it isn't.
This specifically says Aliana to cover.
Nope, you're like a page ahead.
Yeah, you're a page behind.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
I'm a page behind?
I can talk about it if you want to catch up. You're on the side yet again.
The side, yeah.
Oh, am I? Oh, yeah, I am. I'm sorry. Okay, yeah. Sigh.
Gummy bears.
Do I need to make the actual sound? Sigh. Yet again, explain the server crash policy and why it is the way it is. Then it explains in parentheses, also explain why I have to explain this again. and then also explain to them why these main one crashes even happen in the first place. Okay, so basically, first of all, main one is really the only culprit guilty of this. But main one crashes have been because pretty much player entities and builds and deployables. There's 2 ways to solve that. The reason, so actually I'm gonna kind of touch on the second topic here that's coming up later. So the reason that a lot of you have said before, like, well, I've played on such and such server, bikini girls, banner ads, Paradise Island, and they have 200 players and they have huge builds. They don't care what you build and they don't crash. Okay, well, they're also not running like 1,005 plugins with 300 AIs running around the map and stuff like that. So so there's a big difference, and they're not running a map that has 50,000 entities off the get-go. Remember, a normal Rust map has 14,000. So on White Bay alone, our map is already triple, running 3 vanilla maps at once. So anyway, the point being is it's not the same. It's apples to oranges. So we've been screaming for 4 years. I'm sure everybody in the channel is rolling their eyes right now, like, oh, here we go again. about build sizes and deployable limits and all that kind of stuff. There is another side to that coin that we've been ignoring all this time. Well, kind of ignoring, and that's plugins. The reason that on our server you can't have such big bases and so many deployables is because every plugin on our server has to process all those things at once. Every foundation, every wall, every tombstone, every fence, everything you put down, every Pookie Bear, everything has to get processed. By every single plugin. So if you have all those entities and you have all those plugins, do the math. That's a lot. So as I said, the other side of that coin is the plugins. Players have not listened to us for 3 to 4 years of us bitching about build sizes and deployable limits on main one and stuff like that. We kept saying, hey, if this doesn't get under control soon, we're going to have to take action. And that's where we basically come down to is the fact that we're going to have to start looking at the other side of that coin, which is the plugins. Anyway, so when main one crashes, which it's crashed more times in the last 2 months than it has in 4 years. And it's always been because of that stuff, giant builds and too many plugins trying to handle all those giant builds. Our policy. Our policy in a server crash is the first thing we do is the staff Discord goes nuts with fucking staff joining voice because it's all hands on deck when the server crashes. Even if it's late at night, we all jump out of bed and we all jump on it. First thing we do is try to rescue players. We have a system where as the server's coming back online, which is an automated process, we can see players die. Like, we can see no one's online, but Sumi just died to a bear. Okay, cool. That means, when the server crashed, he was out in the wild somewhere. Now he just died to a bear. So what we do, we have a list that we get going in the staff Discord of all the people we see dying as the server's coming back online. We fly around to all their corpses and we gather up all their shit and we try to stick it in their base. If they don't have a base, we usually put it in a box in town or something with their name on it. Anyway, step 1, we recover as many players' shit as we can when the server crashes. Step 2 is make sure we can figure out what the hell happened or if anything did happen, try to figure out what's going on, blah, blah, blah. Get everything set straight. If someone was in a raid, we'll reset your timers and get you a new raid going, stuff like that. Inventory, items, stuff like that, we don't touch. When a server crashes, it has to roll back. There's no choice. The server saves every 10 minutes. The reason it's every 10 minutes is because when the server saves, it'll do a lag spike. There's nothing you can do about that. It has to save every item on the map and every item in every player's inventory on the map, all at the same time. So there's always going to be a little lag spike when the server saves. So naturally, the server doesn't just save every 60 seconds or it would be just constant lag. So it saves every 10 minutes. When the server crashes, it doesn't have a chance to save itself when it crashes. So when it loads back up, it has to load from the last save point. So if the server saved 9 minutes ago and it crashes, you're going to have a 9-minute rollback. If it saved 1 minute ago and crashes, you're going to have a 1-minute rollback. But the chances are, unless it literally crashes 10 seconds after a save, you're going to have some kind of a rollback. We do not replace items, period. Some of you actually end up getting your items duplicated. I'm not going to tell you how, but it's a very easy reasoning on how that happens. Some of you get your items duplicated. Some of you lose items. You didn't really lose them. You just went back in time to before you had them. Or you could lose them because you happen to drop it on the ground or pull it out of something and then the server crashed and now it's not in either place. It's not back in your container and it's not on the ground. It's just gone. There's nothing we can do about it, man. I'm sorry. I know it sounds like a dickhead way to do things, but there's physically nothing we can do. I don't mean there's nothing we want to do. I mean there's nothing we can do. Rust does, I know you guys, anybody who's ever put a support ticket in has heard this speech before. Rust does not log anything when it comes to items, period. I cannot tell you what anyone has picked up recently. I cannot tell you what they've dropped recently. I cannot tell you what they've lost, anything, period. It does not track that shit. It is physically impossible for us to know what you guys had when a server crashed. And even if somehow we could take your word for it, let's say you're like, yeah, but it's me, bro. I've been playing here for 4 years. I would never lie to you. Which, by the way, we get that in a support ticket at least once a week. Why would I lie to you? Why would I lie to you? Just give me my items. I wouldn't lie to you. The difference being, I have to treat every single player from admins all the way down to a player I hate. And there are people I don't even like on the server. I have to treat them all with the same amount of respect. Again, from a lead admin all the way down to my most least liked player on the server, I have to treat everybody with the same respect when it comes to providing support. If I take Pooh Water's word for something, then I have to take some new rando guy's word for it that, has done nothing but talk shit to me since he got here. I have to take everyone's word for it at that point. And I can't do that because if I take everyone's word for it, well, that means everyone can just start claiming they lost stuff whenever they feel like they want some free loot. So everybody understand that. I cannot take anyone's word for it, no matter how much I like you, no matter how much you've played here. And yes, this is from a ticket also. No matter how much you've donated in the past or whatever, I cannot take your word for it. I have to be equal and fair to all players. Admins have lost shit. Drac has lost a shit ton of stuff before from server crashes. I think Mountain Juice. Yeah, I think Mountain Juice last week lost a bunch of shit in a server issue. It just happens, and you can ask them. I'm not lying. If you want to pull them aside behind my back, and is he really lying or is he telling the truth? They don't get their shit back. Period. Even the admins don't get their shit back.
And we actually submit video.
Farming.
And
Yeah,
they don't get.
And you do give it back if we have proof. I mean, like we literally submit a video to show just like a player would.
Yeah, we've had admins, not from a server crash, but from other situations. We're going to get on that whole topic, by the way. We've had admins submit videos, and we even laughed at them, like, hey, you got a video? Well, yeah, actually, I do. Here it is. And they submitted video, and they got their shit replaced because they showed a video of something happening and, stuff disappearing or whatever. Was that Cooley that broke his own TC or some shit? Who was that? Was it Bushwick? Was it Trigger?
Yeah.
Yeah. And he had a video. He accidentally fucked up his own TC. I honestly would accidentally like hitting an admin hotkey, which we have a bunch of dangerous hotkeys that we try not to hit, but sometimes we do. But he got a video. If he deleted his own damn TC with all his shit in it, and he just happened to have been in it though. He clipped a video of it, and that was proof enough to give him his shit back. If he did not have a video, he would have lost all his TC and all his shit inside of it. Period. And he knows that, and he put a video in. So admins are literally under the same restrictions as you guys are. If you need, well, this was on the topic of server crashes. We can't do shit for you without a video, and honestly, you can't get a video of a server crashing because there's no way to know. But with that said, I'm just going to go ahead and scroll right into that topic. I don't even know if that was a note, but it needs to be discussed. Guys, gals, aliens, farm animals, whatever you are, please record videos. Shadowplay is free. The AMD version of it, if you're on like Radon cards or whatever they are, that's free. They're both linked in our links channel. Record a video. If I hear one more person give me the excuse, well, I can't run that software on my computer. Yes, you can. I run it on my shitty laptop that is literally like a Casio wristwatch, and I can still run that software. You can run any recording software for free. And yeah, OBS is good too, but the reason I'm mentioning those two, I don't know if OBS does this, is the recording softwares we're talking about. You can, if you have a shitty computer, set it to 30 seconds only. That way it's not memorizing a whole bunch of stuff. If you have a strong computer, you can set it to 2 minutes. When you press your hotkey, it takes a snapshot, a video of the previous X amount of minutes or X amount of seconds. I have mine set to 60 seconds, I think. So when something happens, you just click the hotkey, boom, you have the last however many minutes of your gameplay recorded for you. I cannot stress it enough. If you need us to do something, there's only two ways we can do it. We have to physically see it for ourselves. An example would be you fell under the map and you're swimming under the map and you're waiting for us to rescue you. Cool. I can log in and see that right now. I don't need you to give me a video. You find a sign on somebody's base with a Nazi logo on it. Cool. Just throw a screenshot in the support ticket. Let me know what grid it's in. We'll go check it out. On the other side of that, I was just the rocket thing on the raid base. I threw 30 rockets at this door in this raid base and it wouldn't blow up. Okay, show me the video. If you don't have a video, don't even open the ticket. That's honestly the main point of this is I'm not exaggerating when I say that 95% of all of our support tickets fall into the category that would require proof and don't have any proof. Please, if you don't have a way to show us, don't open a support ticket. Again, unless it's something that you don't have to show us, or hey, this player is running around screaming profanities at people. You guys might want to keep an eye on him. Cool, we'll log in and keep an eye on him. But if you don't have a recording of it, we can't do anything about it unless we witness it ourselves. Same goes with everything else. If you put a recording in, I don't care if you claim that you lost 10 million C4. If you put a recording in it and I see 10 million C4 just poof out of your inventory, I'm going to spawn you 10 million C4, period. If you don't have a recording and you tell me that you dropped 3 scrap on the ground accidentally, I'm not giving you 3 scrap, period. Get a recording. Show me the money. Yes. Get a recording. Cool. All right. I've been meaning to hit that topic. I forgot to put it down as a note. Moving on. Oh, we're starting to get into the meaty stuff now. All right. The good news is we're almost to the end of my notes. The bad news is now we're in the serious shit. So pay attention. If you guys have been goofing off doing memes and not really listening because we ramble too much, this is where you want to pay attention. Here's the Twitch again. Oh, that's not a Twitch. That's one of them damn support tickets. I'll post that again too. It's pretty funny. Okay. Here's the meat and potatoes though. Well, the first one is an idea. So first of all, before we even hit any of these hardcore topics, I'm going to do a quick statement. Remember, I had this conversation with a certain someone, I won't mention their name, a year ago, who got all pissed off at some NPC changes back when FacePunch redid the AI. I'm sure some of you know who I'm talking about. Remember, everything we ever do is not concrete. Buffs, nerfs, plugin removal, plugin additions, anything we do is never concrete. I think Aliana gave the speech already in the meeting tonight. We listen to players. We really do. It could take time. We could be trying something for a while to see how it filters out and what it works out or whatever. Everything we do though is not concrete. So if we make a change you don't like, you don't have to throw a hissy fit and just screw this. I'm out of here. I'm never playing this. Give it some time. You know what? If it's not working out and we see the data and everybody hates it, cool. We'll look at it. But just everything we mentioned tonight, just understand, A, we absolutely love to get players' input on making changes and have you guys vote on things and all kinds of cool stuff. B, everything we do is not concrete, ever. The server is very fluid and always changing, so just remember that. All right. The first one is kind of an idea. Honestly, even as an admin team, we haven't really discussed this to an extent or even voted on it or nothing. It's just a shower thought. What would you guys think about us? And it wouldn't be a new one. It would be converting. It would probably be converting light. What would you guys think about us converting it into a PvE only server? And let me explain what I mean by that. This is my shower thought. For those of you that listened to the staff meeting recording the other day, pretty much every topic I'm about to cover was covered in that staff meeting. Thinking about an all PvE server, what it means is no PvP day, period. But when it is time for PvP day, what would traditionally have been PvP day, instead of converting to PvP mode, we turn off raid-based cooldowns, we turn off raid-based costs, or so. However, I gotta see what the plugin is capable of, so don't hold me to all that. But we turn off all that shit, so you guys can just have unlimited raid bases, unlimited Bradleys. You can just go fucking ham with all your stuff. No PvP at all, though. There's no PvP anywhere. Just straight PvE, but instead of PvP day, you have balls to the wall, unlimited raid bases, unlimited Bradleys, whatever. That would be the makeup for not having PvP day. And then of course during Power Hour we would turn Power Hour on too, just like normal. That's actually an automated thing, so it wouldn't be that hard to do. And that would be, we would convert light into that. Let's face it, Terminus is actually doing better than light has been. We need to breathe some life into there. So maybe we were thinking if we had kind of a niche type thing, like a PvE only version of Zombieland over there. So, yeah, Terminus is awesome. So I don't know what players would think about that. Maybe if you guys have some deep thoughts on that, you will bring it up during the Q&A section of this and give me your feedback on that. I'd love to hear it. Yeah, I think it'd be kind of a cool idea, but
I will tell you, I'm on light right now, and like I said during that discussion, I would be all for that. I'm a light player. We generally don't PvP a lot on the server, and some of the feedback I'm getting right now on the server are hell yes, let's do it. No more focusing on defending raids. They look like they're into it.
Yeah, I just tabbed over to Battlemetrics and saw that. Yeah. So yeah, it sounds like light people would like it. I would probably up the population on it a little bit if it got too popular. I don't want people feeding me on queue. But if you don't have to worry about PvP, then it's not that important, I guess. So I don't know. We'll see. Like I said, if anybody's got a real strong feedback about that, I'm all ears at the Q&A section of the meeting. I'm going to move on to the next one though. All right, paper blood. Oh yeah, the vending. All right, so I had another shower thought. See what happens when I actually take showers. I had another shower thought, and this was so what if we had, so there's two issues, not issues honestly, because they're by design. Well, one of them is by design. The one issue is players like, oh, it's so expensive to respec, blah, 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 blah. You're right. I want it to be that way. I didn't want you to be able to respec in the first place. So you're right. It is very expensive to respec. The other problem we have, though, is you guys keep having shit tons of resources. You know, we got people with millions and millions of stone and millions of wood and blah, blah, blah. I came up with a shower thought of how can we get rid of all these extra resources that these people have. I don't want to, you know, make it more viable to sell for RP because I don't, you know, we already have an inflation problems with people that have too much RP. So what I thought was I wanted something that you could get rid of your resources, but something that would not persist from wipe to wipe. So what are y'all's thoughts on, well, here's the idea. Tell me about what your thoughts are, because I know people like it. There's no real negative side to it at all. My shower thought was making vending machines in town where you can sell resources for paper. And then, of course, you can use that paper for items in town, or you can use that paper to respec. I actually made these vending machines already on the Commonwealth map, which will be going live Thursday. You're not going to get thousands and thousands of paper. I mean, you know, the exchange rate is kind of like it is for RP. You're not going to get you're not going to go balls to the wall with it. I can tell you right now, let me pull up my spreadsheet. Yes, there's a spreadsheet. There's a spreadsheet for everything we do here. We have so many spreadsheets, it's fucking ridiculous. Right now, the way I have it set, and again, remember the beginning of my conversation, nothing is concrete, nothing is set in stone. No, I don't mean rent a vending machine. I mean, you know how we have vending machines in town already that sell items for paper and blood? I made new vending machines in town that give you paper and blood for your resources. So I made two machines. I made one which is kind of the lower end, and then I made one that's the higher end. The higher end being, you know, cooked sulfur, cooked high qual, and stuff like that. The lower end one being the wood, the stone, stuff like that. And then for some of the extra slots that were still in those machines, I put like for instance, in the lower end machine, I put like lower quantities that you sell at a time. You know, if you're one of them people like, I don't have 1 million, you know, metal frags, but I do have 50,000. Well, that's the lower end machine. The lower end machine has them in smaller increments that you can sell. The higher end machine is just for bigger chunks. You know, you're that guy that's got a million stone, 1 million wood. You want to sell it at 1 million pop. That's the higher end machine. Has the bigger quantities. And then the higher end machine also has the higher tier stuff like cooked sulfur, you know. Anyway, so here's the chart so far. I'll be as quick as I can because we're in a hurry. Remember, these numbers are not set in stone. They could go up, they could go down, but here's where we have them set right now. Hold on, I'm going to read my spreadsheet here. So the basis of it would be like wood could get you, for 100K wood, you get about 25 blood. You'd really, to get into the paper, you need like 500,000 wood. So 500,000 wood to get you a paper. I know that sounds like shit. Wood is the lowest one of all, by the way, just so bear with me. So about 500,000 wood to get you a paper. 100K stone would get you a paper. Don't forget, these things also convert down to blood too. We have a blood machine and a paper machine for these. Where am I at? Metal ore. Metal ore, 100K metal ore will get you 2 paper. So a stack of ore will get you 2 paper. Metal frags, a stack of metal frags will get you 4 paper. Sulfur ore, a stack of sulfur ore will get you 52 paper. Sulfur cooked, same thing. High quality ore, we don't even go up to the stack on that. Just 1,000 high quality ore will get you 2 paper. 100K high quality ore will get you 15 paper. And high quality metal, same thing. So that's where we're at right now. Again, these values could change. I did the math. Remember when I was asking you guys to tell me how much resources you ended the wipe with? Well, that's why I wanted to know. So I took y'all's numbers. I have 5 players here. Some of them are hardcore, some of them are moderate, some of them are low tier. And with your real numbers, these are the real numbers. I actually went into your base on PvP day and searched all your boxes and your TCs and added that shit up. So last PvP day, if you guys would have sold this stuff for paper or blood, the first player would have had, drum roll please, the highest tier player would have had 544 paper. 544 paper worth of shit in his inventory that day. The next player down, who's actually more of an RP type player, not even a raider, would have had 501 paper in their inventory. And then we went down to some lower tier players and newer players. We had one that would have had 124 paper, another one that would have had 24 paper, another one that would have had 94 paper. So basically, the reason I'm telling you those numbers is I didn't want you to hear the first set of numbers where it sounded really low and be like, damn, that's fucked up. You know, a good tier player could stand to easily make 500 to 600 paper in a wipe. You know, moderate to low tier players could make anywhere from 25 to 100 paper per wipe. You want to use that for items? Use it for items. You want to use it for respecking your character? Hey, ain't nothing wrong with at the very end of the wipe, just selling all your shit for paper and then respecking yourself for the next wipe. I honestly think this is a win-win. I can't really think of anything negative about me adding this, which is why I did not do a vote with the players on it. We just kind of went with it ourselves. The admins took a vote, but hopefully you guys will like that. So that's one of the big changes. And we'll see how it goes. Moving on. Yeah, and you can use the paper to buy test gens and all kinds of stuff during the wipe. So all kinds of good things you can do with this. Anyway, the whole purpose of it is to get you guys to burn your damn resources instead of building, you know, super Chad bases all over the place. Moving on. Let's see what we got next. I might actually save that one for last. And we already did Wookiees. We already did that one from Mac. We already did that one about support tickets. All right, so I'm going to touch on Nola. I'm going to touch on your one real quick, unless you'd rather touch it. Are you home or are you still in the car? You must be still in the car.
No, I'm actually logging in right now.
All right, well, I can touch on this last one of mine if you want to touch yours, because then I'm going to go to that last big one. All right, so I had an idea. Actually, it got shot down by most of the admin team. I think it ended up being like a 60-40 against it, but whatever. Cryo, I think it was, or bad. Somebody asked me to pitch it to the players anyway, so I'm pitching it to you. The idea was, what if we took out Outpost? Now, hear me through. First of all, Outpost is very laggy. As you guys know, AI is the most lag-intensive thing on the map. Outpost has a shit ton of AI. It's got turrets that are blasting you for no reason. It's got NPCs that are blasting you for no reason. And it's got a shit ton of entities, you know, buildings and decorations and all kinds of shit everywhere. Now, the reason I said hear me out is I don't mean get rid of Outpost, period. I mean, we create the vending machines that you're going to Outpost for inside town. And of course, we move the quest guy and his building over to town also. So basically what we're saying is, what if we take the shit you want in Outpost, which is the vending machines and the quest guy, and we put them in town from here on out and got rid of Outpost? Because Outpost is laggy, it takes up a bunch of room, it keeps blasting people in the face that did nothing wrong, and you know, it hurts performance where we could use that performance elsewhere. So like I said, the funny thing is the 60% of the admins that shot that idea down shot it down in defense of the players. No, the players are going to riot. The players will be so pissed. The players will hate you for this. And then I think it was a bad idea. It was, well, why don't we just pitch it to them anyway, just see what they say, even though we're not going to do it now because it got shot down. So I'm pitching it to you anyway, just to see what you guys would say. So there it was. I pitched it to you. Yeah, actually, Sumi, my suggestion was get rid of Outpost and Bandit and mix it all into one town. And I said, actually, what's funny is I think it was Drag, I said, if I was to get rid of Outpost and Bandit and put it all into one town like that, I would even put a warp to the Heli Tower to make up for it. So, but that one really got shot down. So yeah, Outpost is just, I'm so tired of seeing players get blasted. And I'll go ahead and tell you the negatives the admins were saying. They're like, hey, the players are going to hate you, or the players, oh, blah. That sucks because they use it as a warp point. They want an extra warp. And my counter to that was, well, you get an extra warp now because now you don't have to go to two different places to do those things. If you want to go to town or Outpost, it's all in the same warp. So you're actually saving warps because now you can do your shopping, you can do your crafting, you can do everything in the same place. So that was my retort to the warp complaint. The other complaint was, you know, like new players logging in, they're like, where's Outpost? There's no Outpost, blah, blah, blah. And our retort to that was, well, we could put a second map label with the town map label that says Outpost. Just, you know, they'd be right next to each other in the same spot. So that way at least new players see that there's actually an Outpost, it's just there. Another retort from some of the admins was the confusion of like, people are going to be confused, like, where's out? This is an Outpost. What the hell's going on? Well, we have SmartBot that answers people's questions. So, you know, when somebody says, where's Outpost in chat, he could answer them, say, hey, type /warp and go to town. All the Outpost stuff's there, blah, blah, blah. So we had a retort for everything. I still think we sat at like 60% against or something. I don't remember. We were going back and forth. It was a huge debate.
I'd say it's about 50-50.
Yeah, it's somewhere in there. But like I said, one of the other admins. But by the way, this was not even my idea. I just thought it was a great idea. One of the other admins just said, "Well, just ask the players anyway and see what they say." So that's what I'm doing. I'm asking you, seeing what you say. If we feel like there's enough players saying yes, 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 then maybe we'll throw a vote up and let you guys vote on it or something. I don't know. We just want everything to be smooth for you guys. Putting it all in one
Nobody
place.
has said no.
Huh?
Nobody has said no.
That's hilarious. Honestly, I do agree with some of the confusion complaints. Is players are going to wonder what's going on or why this and that. But Outpost, it's just, again, with it blasting people all the time, it's fucking annoying. It's a huge ton of performance hit, as far as AI and all the extra entities that we could be using that space for more monuments. We could be using that space for more, whatever. Hell, even more places to build, whatever, more raid-based spots. Jesus, Aliana, really? Yeah, by the way, yeah, she gonna post a vote. You're the one that people said no.
I know.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
have a problem. Like, I don't have a problem saying so. I'm surprised you guys aren't upset about losing a warp spot because we've taken so much flack about not having our warp spread out properly in the past. So I thought that was a really big importance, which is why I said I disagreed with the idea.
Yeah, but again, you kind of get an extra warp because now you don't have to go to two different places.
Aliana, you should add a to your votes to get rid of both Outpost and Bandit Camp.
Well,
I just thought it might help consolidate chat a little bit if instead of every individual person saying yes or no.
Yeah, this is nothing that could be done like right now anyway. We'd have to, because we'd have to, we'd have to make the vending machines and put them in town. It takes some time. We'll if you guys, I'm seeing a lot of support, so we'll table this until after the meeting. I'll make a forum. I'll make a thread right up here in general. Discuss the removal of Outpost. I'll make a thread. We can talk about it. We can vote about it. All that good shit there. Okay. I'll make a sticky post in the thread where you can react yes or no type stuff. So we'll discuss it. We'll discuss it. Chill out. Okay, moving on. Nola, are you home? You want to hit yours? Or you want me to hit it for you?
Yeah, actually, why don't you hit it? That way you can put the picture up on the screen.
Okay.
I got
Nola
the
said,
picture.
huh?
I said I've got the picture.
Oh.
Oh, all right, there we go. So I just wanted to call out Sergeant Sloppy Joe, although he's not in the meeting. Give him props if you run across him. We have a channel in our Discord where we have building guidelines, especially for things like large raid bases. We understand that you want to get your footprint down. You don't want people building right next to you if you plan on expanding for PvP day. So what we ask is that you build foundations out to what your footprint's going to be. You protect that with TCs up against that build privilege, but you leave everything down and live in a modest base. And I was flying around doing some checks and doing some testing, and came across this base. I actually saw a bunch of TCs on radar, and I was like, oh shit, here we go. I think this was like day 2 or 3 of the wipe. Get over there. There's TCs protecting the entrances. There's TCs around the perimeter. Has a nice footprint for a future base, but he's living modestly. Now, there's windmills, so I almost set it all on fire anyway. But look, in all seriousness, this is a shining example of what we asked for. And, everyone in here, spread the word. Let people know. We really appreciate it. I know personally I'm going to be flying around, and if I find what's going to be a big base, but it's lived in modestly, I'm going to toss out some rewards here and there. So that's all I got on that. Back to you.
Yeah, good shit. So yeah, just build up the center of your base to live out of. Leave the rest of it at the foundation level. All right, moving on to the final note. This is the final one here. Then we're going to open up to the questions and answers. I'm going to say it one more time. Everything we do on this server is never concrete. We're always trying to do everything we can to make this the perfect place. So just remember that. So as we were talking about with the performance and with main 1 crashing and just, us having to limit y'all's builds so much and constantly yell at y'all for the builds, the other side of that coin is the plugins. The plugins are the reason we have to be so limiting, because the Plugins can only process so much with so many plugins and so many bases and so many players. So we couldn't get you guys to chill with the builds. As we say in many meetings, most of the people in this meeting are not the problem. It's usually new players that join, like, oh, PvE server, I can just build a castle. So it's usually not even you people in the meeting. It's usually people that are just new. They come on, they build something stupid and big, and then they leave. There's a couple people that are regulars that build too big, but whatever. The point being is we can't fix that. We've tried fixing that for 4 years. We can't fix it. We just can't. We've tried. So we're going to try to fix the other side of that, which is the plugins. Yeah, that GIF right there is exactly what rivers look like on day one of wipe. So anyway, the plugins. As you know, we've already gotten rid of a little handful of plugins. We've already seen a noticeable improvement in server performance. Every admin in this channel right now can vouch for you that it's almost doubled our performance already. Maybe 35% better, almost double, not quite. And that's not even some of the harder hitting plugins yet. So I'm going to hit a couple of the ones that were removed in case people weren't aware. And then I'm going to tell you about a couple more that are still going to go. And they're going to go on Force Wipe. If you already listened to the staff meeting, you already know about all this. Because that's why I kept telling you guys, make sure you listen to that staff meeting. We discussed some really important shit. So here we go. First of all, the ones that have been removed. The @mention, where you can somebody in chat. There's another one. It's a behind-the-scenes plugin. Won't make any difference to you guys. Another one is okay, I'm going to call them Band-Aids, by the way. There's a lot of plugins that we have that are called Band-Aids. And what I mean by that is Facepunch breaks something or something's fucked up in the game. And we can put a Band-Aid on it by making a plugin to counteract it. A good example of that would be, we have a plugin that we custom wrote ourselves called Train Smash. And what Train Smash does is, if a train driven by a player comes into contact with a Bradley, it blows up the train. Why did we do that? I'm sure you can figure it out. So that's what I call a Band-Aid. There's a problem, we make a plugin, and it's a Band-Aid to cover up the problem. So instead of describing these to you, I'm just going to call them a Band-Aid. So the @mention is gone. There's a Band-Aid plugin gone, another Band-Aid gone. Death Notes is gone. That's the one that scrolls by with the text, somebody shot somebody in the titty with a big fucking gun, that stuff. Honestly, it was funny when we had the staff meeting and we were going down the list of plugins and literally hard debating, like we're talking the floor of Congress, literally debating this shit for hours and hours that night. This is my favorite plugin that was on the chopping block. I love Death Notes, but it's gone. So just know, even I'm hurt by this. Another one is a Band-Aid. Karma is gone. That would be the /thank. Another Band-Aid is gone. New player is kind of gone. It's coming back, but that's an admin plugin you wouldn't know about anyway. Mountain Juice is not here to yell at me for that one. Twig Reminder plugin is gone. That would be the one that warns new players every time they place Twig to upgrade their Twig and lock their TC. And as we have all seen, that makes fuck all of difference. So we've gotten rid of that one. The /info page that had all the links to like our Discord and our website and stuff, that is gone. And that was actually its own plugin to make it all pretty looking. Instead of having the plugin to make it all pretty looking, we could just write it like we do all the other /info stuff. The wipe schedule in /info was actually its own plugin to make it all pretty. So we just wrote it on the front page of /info instead and got rid of that plugin. The players joining icon at the top of your screen is gone. That shows how many players are currently joining. The scrolling white date under your toolbar is gone because nobody pays attention anyway and asks when's wipe. Those are the ones that are already gone. Wait, actually, I'm sorry, there's a couple more. Loot Bouncer is gone. That is the one that drops shit out of the barrels or crates, or out of the crates if you don't fully loot them. So please fully loot your crates. Quit being a dick. Admin panel is gone. That's something for us that we dearly miss, but hey, we got to make sacrifices too. Better Say is gone. That's another admin thing. Again, we have to make sacrifices too. The queue bypass is gone, and there's actually two things behind that. A is I am talking with Lone right now. There's actually a way to make that work without a plugin, and that's what we're working on right now. I actually need to DM him because he forgot to finish what he was explaining with that to me. So we are working on that still. But the way it worked with the plugin is kind of dumb anyway, because anyone who was a veteran or higher, and I don't just mean donate veterans, I mean just playtime veterans, had the bypass queue permission. And all that does is put you to the front of the line of people that don't have that. So, once everybody's a veteran, by the end of the month, pretty much if there's a queue, you're all in the same damn line anyway, because you all have the bypass queue permission. So it's kind of dumb. So that's why that's gone. Like I said, Lone has a way that he's working with me on not doing it with a plugin. The sleepers at the top of your screen shows how many sleepers. That is gone. So those are all the ones that are gone. Here's some that are going away on force wipe. So listen closely. And again, not everything's concrete. Bear with us. This is all in the name of performance. Drum roll, please. Here I go, Eliana. I'm going to say it. You ready?
Do it.
Auto loot sorter is gone as a force wipe. Give everybody a second to cuss me out.
Hurts
There it
my
goes. I knew it was
freaking
coming.
soul.
I knew it was coming. So during the debates, by the way, when I play Rust, the first thing I do is I put down one foundation and one fucking box, and I start configuring my auto loot sorter. That is my beloved plugin. Nothing is concrete, nothing is set in stone permanently, but yes, that is going away in 2 days. I knew this was coming. Oh, you think this is bad? Wait till I get halfway through the list. Actually, you know what? This should be on the other list. This one was already deleted, but this one, this is a good thing. This is another Band-Aid plugin. It had to do with fuel when you buy vehicles. So that one's been deleted. That problem has been fixed and no longer needs a Band-Aid. Honestly, part of the reason that we finally said okay with auto loot sorter is it's a huge performance impact on the server. Huge performance impact. And there's two sides of that coin. Only 10% of the players even touch it. It's a confusing plugin to use. It's complicated. It's tedious. Takes a little time to get it all how you want it. So only 10% of the players even use it. The other side of that coin, though, is the 10% that do use it. It is a religion. Like, it is a fucking religion. Myself included. I'm a user. I have to have it's a crutch, dude. It is a crutch. I love that plugin. I always use it. So trust me, I feel your pain too, especially if I'm trying to play a wipe next month. Yep, that's another change. Nightmare bases are gone. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. Slow down.
Those better not be
Slow
gone.
down. Slow down.
I'm gonna beat somebody's ass.
But anyway, like I said, everything's not set in stone. We're still, we're watching performance, seeing what we can do here and there. Moving on down the list. I'm gonna save that one for last. Random spawns is gone. Most of y'all don't even know what that is. There's a reason on our server that you spawn in random places all over the map instead of on beaches like normal Rust. That plugin is gone as of Thursday. There's good and bad with that. At least now you don't have a chance to spawn it inside of a fucking raid base, PvP raid base or on Zombie Island or something, I guess. Well, I guess you still could if they're on a beach, but whatever. That plugin's gone. Now the last two are going to sting a little bit. Everything's not set in stone. Bear with me. Time of day plugin is gone. That would be what makes our nights 10 minutes instead of 15 minutes. So nights, day and night will go back to vanilla.
Before you talk, did we not talk about some potential enhancements to the nighttime thing in the future as well?
Yes, I'm getting there.
Okay, cool.
The last two ones I'm naming, they do have a positive side to them too.
Okay, I'll just shut up then.
I'm letting the players stew on that for a second. Stew, motherfucker, stew.
I'm letting them rage.
I'm letting them rage for a minute. Okay, so on the other side of that coin, I think this was Wookiee's suggestion or somebody. On the other side of that coin, I did find out that there is a setting in the skills plugin that allows me to give bonuses at night. So I have officially, it's not huge. You're not going to get like 50% bonus, but I've officially configured a bonus to everything at night. Experience earned, woodcutting, mining, gathering, all that shit. I've given a bonus. Again, it's a small bonus, but whatever, it's a bonus. So nights are 5 minutes longer, but you get a bonus to all your shit now at night. So there you go. How's that? See?
Now,
See?
the question is how many people actually realized that it was 10 minutes, not 15.
Yeah, that's the funny part is half the people didn't even realize we had shorter nights than vanilla anyway.
Yeah. I didn't.
It was only 5 minutes
6
difference.
hours, 10 minutes.
Yep. So anyway, so yeah, night's going back to vanilla, but you're getting a bonus at night now. See, not such a tyrant after all. And at least it's not old school Rust where night was like pitch black, like walking through ink. That was the worst. Okay, so moving on. And the last plugin, the very last plugin that is going away. My stomach hurts just saying this. Here we go. Okay. Just like the time of day one, though, there is a positive side to it, so bear with me. Instant crafting is going away. I'm just going to let him stew for a minute.
Back. Oh, here it comes.
Like, suddenly the meeting drops down to 3 people. Okay, hold up. Terminus players like, yeah, fuck you.
Terminus players are like, okay, and?
We don't craft anyway, bitch. Okay, so slow down. This is hilarious.
Do I need to enable slow mode 5 minutes?
Shit. No, we need to enable Pepto-Bismol mode for T-Bird. All right. So there's 2 things with that. One, instant crafting isn't really going away because you can just get the skill that makes your crafting speed increase by 100%. That's the good news. Which, has always been a thing anyway. With all the tier 3 stuff has already been not instant craft anyway. Yeah. See, that's my real goal here is to get everybody to play Terminus. That's it. That's my ulterior motive there. No, the other side of the coin is though, just like with the time of day to make up for it, we are enabling crafting XP. So you will be getting experience for all the shit you craft now. And again, you could always just skill up in instant crafting, and then it'll just be back to instant crafting like normal for you. So there you go. That's the final plugin. So
Good thing is they can craft during the night when it's longer and get all the XP.
Look, see that?
Oh, that's some big brain thinking from a Canadian, no less. I'm just gonna put it out there. Yeah,
them hot bucks to the head.
That's why Trigger makes the big bucks.
He's also here to say sorry for us, so hold on.
Yeah, sorry by the way. Sorry, guys.
So one thing, believe it or not, okay, so I don't know if you guys know this. Aliana, I'm throwing you all up under this bus. Aliana is the biggest, what is the word called when you support a group? Like not proponent, advocate. She is the biggest advocate for, oh my God, just carry these players on a golden pillow and hold their hand for everything. She wants everything to be so perfect.
Not that much.
I don't. Okay.
She's all up under that.
I am about trying to make sure that there's a place for everybody, including people who are newer to Rust.
Well, let me get to the point of that.
Peacekeeper.
The point of that, though, is, believe it or not, when we were going through this plugin list of voting on what to get rid of and what to keep, believe it or not, when I brought this one in, I was expecting to get fucked up and lynched by the entire admin team. And I think it was a unanimous 100% yes, that is a great idea for the instant crafting thing, including Aliana, who literally would drive to my house and shoot me if I deleted some of the stuff that you guys like. So even she admitted that it was probably a better idea to do it this way.
Well, and I said so in the meeting. Just to repeat one more time for those of you guys who didn't listen to it. I know it was a long meeting. I don't blame you, but the thing about instant crafting is we have a skill for that. We have to do things to make our skills desirable, and in certain cases some of them just really aren't there, and because of that you have people who are putting 100% of their skills into farming, and then they're able to then go and sell that all for RP, and then they're ending the wipe with a huge RP balance. And there's a lot of our skills that are just fun. They're just fun, like riding around and shooting barrels and having that automatically loot. That is awesome, and having like super fast horse, that's awesome. But we need to make sure people are having good options within the skill tree so that they can play around each wipe. And with you guys being able to sell for RP or RP for paper now, or I'm sorry, items for paper now, then you'll have the ability to maybe take some more advantage of that.
But anyway, as always, nothing's concrete. We see how things go, see what things go. You know, when we make changes, we don't just delete everything. You know, we can always revert changes or change things or tweak them up or whatever. But that's how it's going to be right now. It's a huge hit on the server. Another point is you know the reason someone has to build a GigaChad base that's 4 grids wide and 30 stories tall is because they know on PvP day the person coming to raid them is going to come with 10,000 rockets and 5,000 C4 and 2,000 med pens and 50,000 kits. So they have to make a GigaChad base because they got to be able to withstand all that shit. So if they don't have to withstand all that shit, they don't need a GigaChad base. Sorry, I'm getting distracted by these funny comments. Anyway, and like she said, we need more reasons for the skills to be useful. So not everybody just sits there and picks, hey, I want to get 5,000 mining and 5,000 wood cutting skills. Like, what for? You know, so if you haven't noticed, a lot of the changes tonight are themed around cutting back on that. You know, cutting back on so many damn resources you don't need. So now, you can sell your resources for paper. So you can use that paper to respec, or you can use that paper to buy items. B, now you're going to want to spend some of those skill points on, you know, crafting speed if you really want to. Now you don't have to spend them all on 10 billion things of stone and whatever mining, and you won't feel you need to because now you're like, well, if I have to spend my skill points on crafting, I won't be able to spend it on having level 5,000 in mining. But you don't need 5,000 in mining now because the people raiding you aren't going to have 10,000 C4 when they come to raid you now. So everything kind of balances out together if you notice it. And the whole purpose is to tone everything down. Things have gotten so out of hand. We need to tone things down. You don't need every skill point in mining. There's tons of really cool skills out there, believe it or not. I don't think you guys understand how powerful some of them skills are that people just ignore because all they see is I gotta mine. No, you don't. You don't have to have that big of a base. The jetpacks are not coming back. I'll tell you that right now. So it's to spread things out. Same reason I'm trying to work on making more underwater monuments so that you guys will put some skill points into diving skills and stuff. Same reason I was cool with being able to sell resources for paper because now you guys will be able to respec more often and you'll get to try some of those other skills instead of thinking, well, I can't respec, so I need to put everything I got into mining, otherwise I'll regret it. No, now you can put things into other skills, try them out, and then you might be like, damn, I wish I would have been doing this all along. That's a great skill. Now you can experiment because you know you can sell your resources for paper and respec. So we're trying to balance things out. If you haven't caught the whole drift of this conversation here. By the way, the fall damage skill is incredible, and you may need that on the new map. All right. I think that is my last note. Is it? Yes, it is. All right. Whew, I've been sweating that one all day. All right. So, any lead admins want to talk so I can rest my damn throat box?
You just want more candy.
Giggity.
It was a pretty comprehensive meeting. Too.
You can hear me
I don't know
grabbing
if
it
I can help
already.
you that much.
I'm already unwrapping that shit. Any leads? Anybody? No. Do we have leads in here? Wait, yeah, we do.
Nope.
Yeah.
We don't exist.
Don't really have anything else.
Why do I feel like we're missing? We're missing Drac. Where'd Drac go?
He had to go. He posted.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll say things, but they don't really need to be said to the people here. I don't know why in the past like 3 wipes, everyone's decided that spotlights are the thing, but just bear in mind that kind of stuff. All of this is done, by the way, with the attempt to help improve performance. So hopefully you guys feel it too. And yeah, holidays are just around the corner. Everyone's got some good plans with their family, and you know, bear in mind that we are going to be having holidays on our end as well. So there may be increased wait times on tickets and other things like that.
By the way, for those who were not here last year at Christmas time, we let up the reins a lot during Christmas. First of all, I'm a huge Christmas buff, so the entire month of December is considered Christmas to me. That means admins are going to be much more allowed, I guess would be the word, to be heavy-handed with, you know, giving out little presents and just having fun and just throwing shit at players and being.
Santa plugin. Woo!
Yeah, the Santa plugin will be on, where an admin actually gets to take control of Santa and fly him around and drop presents on top of everybody. If I find a couple players I really like, I might even let them try it out. That's how I met Bushwookie.
Yep.
I let him be Santa last year, and he loved it.
Regretted it ever since.
Yep. Still can't do it. But anyway, so we do a lot of treats in there. Aliana is working on a completely custom Christmas map, and we're still going to revamp and run our Christmas map from last year too. So there'll be lots of sledding, lots of snowmobile racetracks, and all kinds of fun shit. When she was making it, I even told her, "Hey, go full mode. If you want to be way too generous with loot and way too generous with monuments, and just make everything just la la land and easy for the players and fun, go for it." Christmas, December is the 1 month I don't give a fuck how easy things are for you, how much loot you get, how much free stuff you find. Christmas, the month of December, is supposed to be just fun. T doesn't give a shit. This is the last wipe of the year. Let's just have fun. So the entire month of December is going to be like that. We have multiple Christmas maps we're going to be running. They're really fun. Yes, we do have a Santa plugin where an admin actually takes control of Santa and flies him around and dumps presents on people, and just it's a lot of fun. So if you haven't been here in Zombieland for December, the entire fucking month of December is just a hoot here. November, I'm desperately killing myself trying to get this new map ready so we can have that out in November. But that's what's coming up. All right, cool. Any admins have anything before we move on to the Q&A?
Okay. So, so call out to the builders. If like we could use more hard bases, we could use more easy bases, more experts. Pretty good set on the mediums right now, but could always use more bases, especially like I think easy, medium, and hards get hit the most possibly, but I'm hoping to get us to 100 hard bases by the end of the year, but it takes a lot of work. So any help we can get from our builders, like go to the channel that we have for that and look at our requirements for the bases, and don't just build something that's just like super Chad based. Like try to think of an RP aspect of it and put some stuff in it, make it look cool.
Hook it up.
Don't do like I've seen like several nightmares get submitted previously, whatever, where it's just this giant like torture chamber of just turrets and shotgun traps. Like you turn a corner, there's 10 shotgun traps. You turn another corner, there's 8 turrets. You turn another corner, there's 12 flame traps and shotgun turrets, and it's just like there's nothing to the base except for it's tedious. Don't make it tedious. Make it difficult, challenging. Make it so that people actually have to use skill and not just boom. Throw in some electrics. If you need help, contact me. I mean, I can find videos easily enough online on how to do electronics, how to set up Teslas and all that. So, yeah, just a call out to the builders. I know there are a lot of you out there. I've seen some of y'all bases. Even if you're just like, hey, I'm an RP kind of person, like, go build an easy base. Go build an RP base that's an easy base on the build server. Submit it. We love those styles of bases. That's it for me.
Any admin got anything?
One thing really quickly. So I know for some of you here are pretty hyped about, Force Wipe and some of the new content. Just a reminder, certain things may not work right away, i.e. the Caboose thing for license. I'm sure T will not have an update for that right away unless somehow miraculously there is. So try to find one on the map. But just remember some of that new content, if it interacts with plugins, it's going to be, an interesting first little bit. So just wanted to remind everybody about that.
Yeah, don't forget the Force Wipe stuff. Could definitely be interesting, as you saw with the Halloween wipe, or the Halloween patch was a pain in the ass.
Oh, let's not remind ourselves of that again.
Oh, real quick, I do have one more thing. I just want to thank everyone for coming. I know that these meetings sometimes are repetitive and long, and it's a lot of information to get out to a lot of different people. So appreciate you guys being here. Really appreciate this community so much. So I just wanted to say that as well.
I do too. Me too. I love these people. All right. Any admins have anything else? Nothing.
Just one quick thing. It's just when the server does wipe, force wipe or otherwise, just make sure you wait for the all clear before you start doing your buildings and calling in all your stuff. Don't waste it.
We could really poke that somewhere.
You know that's gonna happen anyway.
Really, I know. If only we thought to post it.
If only we scream it out every single minute of a wipe day.
All right, so I guess we're moving on to the Q&A now, and then that's when as soon as the Q&A is done, we start passing out presents, and I log into Rust and show off the new map. So here we go, Q&A. I guess Mac, you gonna do the hand raising like you always do?
Always,
right?
always.
For those that don't know, if you're watching the stream right now, there should be a little thing. I think it's the top right where you can request to speak or raise your hand to speak or something like that, and Mac will call on you and give you permission to speak. Try to speed it up. Players. A lot of people don't have anything to say, so they're like waiting and waiting. Like, come on, come on. So just try to be quick about it.
We
We'll
do
answer
also
your
get a
question.
lot that pop in and just like, hey, thank you, whatever, and then that's all they had. It takes a lot of time, but
We like that too.
Well, hey, that's my favorite damn part now. So you guys can still do that. That's my favorite part. All right, so here we go. Q&A time.
All right, first person we got. I always get his name wrong. Doc and Choate.
Doc and
Just say Doc.
Oh, here we go. Jesus Christ. Wait,
Yeah.
Doc. I used the
What?
thing the other night. We tried to make some steaks, and I fucked it all up, dude. I got to talk to you later.
All right, now
I fucked it all up, dude. I literally threw steak in the trash. Fucked it all
All
up.
right, we'll talk.
Okay.
So I had two things, one easy and one more towards what you all talking about earlier on. Number one, is there any way to turn off the spawn spam or the craft spam? Because we lose our chat. That would be an easy one. Either you can or you can't.
What's craft spam?
What do you mean?
Craft spam, so when you get a bonus or you get a refund on your item, like if you can turn that off, because we lose chat the entire time. It's all
from skills.
Yep, from skills.
Might be in the UI settings.
Yeah. Well, is it in the UI setting?
I feel like you can turn that off on your end. I thought.
Maybe, so get back to us. So the second one, and this is very pertinent to what you were brought up as number 1, 2, and 3 for the entire thing tonight, the difficulty of things. So like I posted earlier, Nola responded to it earlier. Like for example, the underwater obs on this wipe, like you go through this entire tunnel, you've done the entire monument, and like, oh fuck, I'm just going out. And then you run through a tunnel where there is no cover, nothing, and a boss just nukes you down. And same thing with ZI. Like we've had a lot of variability where ZI can be soloed at times, and sometimes it's fucking thermonuclear. But I would urge you guys to look at these things from a player perspective that maybe is, I would argue I'm maybe in that 10%, I don't know. But I'm running with another person at least. You have to understand that, if we run in and we've done one nightmare or maybe two and we have bandit gear, like that's the only shit we really care about. If we run into a boss that M2 beams us down, like that is heart crushing. So
our bosses in Zombie Island both are meant, and Aliana can probably touch better, even Nola actually. They're the ones that do NPCs. They do NPCs, but they're meant to be like WoW raid level. Like plan all wipe for it and then take an entire crew
and they totally should. But like for this wipe, and like I posted, like I love the monuments and everything's great, but like in the underwater observatory, like you go into this room and you have this the boss Brad and all this hardcore shit with no cover. Like that was hard, but it was doable. But like you finish the entire thing and you're running through a tunnel and you figure like, oh, that's just the way these guys made us go outside, and now there's a boss that just kills us, and there is no effing way to, number one, kill the boss, and number two, to know they were there.
I wish we could do like game music, like dun 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 as you got closer.
Well, and there was even a sign that said like, you can warp out now or whatever. It's like put on the sign like big boss, like, you're about to get effed. Like, and again, from my perspective, like the bandit gear is the thing that we care about, from that, having done a couple of nightmares or whatever, and from the Zombie Island perspective, like when even we would attempt Zombie Island and back out way to the periphery, we would get 6, 7, 8 zombies on you like in a second. And it's not a level of difficulty thing. It's just a knowledge of knowing that's going to happen, or the ability to react to that. So like when you have that tunnel zombie that we had like 6 wipes ago, that was easy. Like I could solo that. And then you have zombie islands that are redonkulously hard, where I would go ahead, Ollie.
No, finish what you're saying.
I was going to say, so like I would argue on this Zombie Island that there is not a single person that actually blew into Zombie Island and finished the, Carmen Sandiego whatever quest line, unless they crashed and jumped down the hole. So those differences are the problem. It's not the difficulty. If you tell me it's really difficult and I need 7 people or 8 people, that's great. But we need to know to some degree that this is going to be super hard or not, or have the ability to back up from it. Because again, like on ZI this wipe, we would back all the way out to the very edge of the water, like just to try to collect our gear, and would just get swarmed. So go ahead.
So okay, so this is hard. Let me explain to you a little bit about why and what confines we work in with the NPCs. So first limitation that we have is our bot count, right? This is something that we have a set number on the map. And so in certain cases where we would really love to have more NPCs in a specific area, we cannot, right? So already we have less NPCs roaming around than we want. You look at a place like Zombie Island that's stacked with zombies and you might think, well, you seem to have plenty here. But the thing is that because we cannot have as many out as we would like, we instead buff up the ones that are out. And so we have adopted moving into like a tiered system level. So the ones that are easy monuments should be easier versus the one that are harder monuments, or the nightmare level monuments should be much harder.
Of course.
And we also started to color code the monuments so that people would understand, like, I'm in a red monument, I'm in a serious business area, and there might be bosses here or other, difficult pitfalls or a lot of NPCs. So that's the first problem already, is that we don't have enough AI to fit out the area. I know, I'm still working through this process. So the next problem we have is that the AI is dumb. There's no plugins or anything we can do to fix a base Rust AI issue. And so the problem with that is that no matter how many buffs you give to the bot, they're always going to operate the same way, which is sometimes allowing you to just shoot them in the face because their hitbox is aiming out of their chest, which is why they can be head glitched, or because they're fixated on your friend who's hiding strategically behind a corner and you're able to just get a bunch of shots off on him. So that's the second problem that we face with the AI, is that we have to make things in a way that are not going to be cheesable, because we don't want people just to get free loot. And so we've really struggled in a lot of cases trying to find what the perfect arena is, because the problem is that if we do give cover, then that gives people the opportunity to find these, cheesy spots where they can head glitch, and it allows for people to do things like soloing Zombie Island, which we never would want. And really the only variables that we can change on those kinds of things are going to be like damage and run speed and accuracy. The feedback of there's not enough cover in this room is definitely one that I think that we can note for the future. But unfortunately, a lot of that stuff, we cannot identify until it's live. We can't fix it once it's live. But we can fix for next time, or at least take the feedback on. So that's helpful. And putting in a ticket just to say, like, here's my experiences, we can just note that in the channel. And now that we have our map testers working, they can also help with testing that kind of stuff out. But it's just a rock and a hard place, because we've made boss rooms that have a ton of cover, and what we find is that people just use that cover to head glitch them.
Exactly.
And we don't want that.
So my recommendation on that point is that potentially you get some of the upper tier players that are routinely doing the upper tier things, like, for example, this underwater obs thing, where you go through a door, you have no cover, nothing, multiple respawn, and a boss Brad. That was actually doable, even though that looked, on paper, I would say that is retarded, but it was actually doable. But if you go into a boss room where you're running down a long tunnel and you have zero cover and you think you're exiting a monument, and all of a sudden there's an M2 with a beamer on you, you have no shot of ever killing that guy. I would argue, look at your stats. Did anybody ever kill that boss?
Well,
Yeah.
there was some people in chat saying that they had, and I mean, honestly, it's a fair take. I know the way that that room is laid out, and I can understand why it would be hard to walk in if you only had a couple people. The problem is, again, with other stuff, is if we make things tailored down to smaller groups, then our bigger groups will have problems with it. It's really hard for us to find that medium. But when you experience stuff like that, just put a ticket in and be like, hey, I had a really hard
and
time
Nola
with
heard
this.
it.
Yeah, so I mean, and by the time we run this map again, that's something that we'll review and look into places for cover.
Let me add two. Let me
Yeah,
add. Let me
I
add a
mean,
couple things real quick before you guys go back and forth. Number
Oh yeah, I
one
mean, I'm
is-
done. That's it.
Okay, well, number one was as you've seen, we're taking steps to try to alleviate the lack of warnings. That's why I started hand painting these map previews with color coded maps, and that's why we started color coding them in the game, which is it's all actually a pain in the ass, but we started doing that. Number two is that I forgot what I was getting at. Oh, that she's absolutely right. Like we have people that literally will head glitch every boss we make. They just head glitch it, never take a bullet of damage, and they get free loot. And then at the same time, we have just today alone, we had someone using one player to kite all the zombies on Zombie Island and just running around, not getting touched by a single one of them, while the other player just mowed them all down with an M249. Boom, tons of free loot, tons of free kills, tons of free everything. Didn't take a single bit of damage the entire time. So you have to remember that we're fighting two sides of the coin. We're fighting your side of the coin, which is to try to make things fair and at least doable for a lot of people. But at the same time, we're fighting the other side of the coin where everybody's got to find some stupid ass way to cheat and cheese and destroy our content. They're like, oh look, we did it because but you cheated to do it. So it's, and then on top of that, we have players that legit just have a big ass clan of people and they can fucking conquer anything we do. So there's a lot of sides of that coin we're looking at. Now, the warning side of it, I agree with you, and we're trying to do our best. I've actually put warnings specifically in monuments before, for just such that reason, like warning, boss ahead, stuff like that. I'm all for doing that kind of stuff again. You see a monument like that, and you're like, dude, what the fuck, T? I thought this was the exit, and I just got mowed down by a Bradley in a fucking room. Well, let me know, put a ticket in. I should have put a sign there or something. You're right, and I'll do it. And the same thing goes. That's why we started color coding the monuments. So at least then you wouldn't wander into something and go, how the hell was I supposed to know these NPCs were so hard here? Well, because it's red on the map. That's how. So we're trying, at least, is what I'm trying to get at.
No,
I lied,
totally
and I
agree.
do have one other point to make, which is just to say that our bosses are really souped up with the variables that we can pick. The reason why our bosses have M2s, so it has like individualized kits, right? I put M2s in some of those kits specifically because I thought people would appreciate an M2 as a prize for killing the boss. If we take the M2 away, then you wouldn't get that with the loot, and I don't know if that's a trade-off that like players would like. I know that the M2 bosses are significantly harder, but you get an M2, right? Isn't that good?
No, we love it, but again, like T was saying, like that little notice, because there was a sign up there that says you can't go back, you can warp out, whatever. If there was a note like Jesus tits, big boss ahead, like it would be like, oh Christ, I shouldn't be wearing my bandit, like I should go see what's going on. But you run down a long hallway with zero cover, and then you have the M2 beamer, and it's like, oh, GG. I mean,
But let me counter that point though, Doc. Isn't that like, doesn't that just negate the whole risk versus reward discovery, I'm having a fun time thing? Like, no, like I understand you're losing loot, right? We all lose loot, right?
Mhm.
But it's part of that discovery of going around the map and having a good time, that sort of thing. I would chance to say that probably 90% of the people that are in this chat tonight, in this server meeting, have multiple kits available to them, or have the capability to restore those kits in a more timely fashion than say some other folks, right?
Well,
The last thing I want to jump on, because you did say it, and I think we've kind of said this a few times already, but I just want to make sure we're clear here. When you say go look at the data, Rust does not log that stuff. So I just want to make sure you understand that we don't have a capability to see that type of data you're talking about.
Anyway, the point being is, I think Doc's got a good point though. There's nothing wrong with if something appears like it's the end of the monument and you've already beaten it, getting beamed by a boss at the end of it. He's right on that. I'll give him that. So if you see stuff like that, just put a ticket in, man. I'll be glad to make it more obvious that you're about to step into a shit pile in the monument that you're in, type thing. There's nothing wrong with that. You got to remember, I mean, you guys have seen my stream. We're putting these things together. we're not on the ground as a player. We're floating in the sky in a map editor trying to, okay, I need to put this here. Oh, there's not enough room for that, so I need to put that here. Oh shit, we didn't make a place for a boss. Well, where can we stick him? Well, he'd go good in this monument. It's a hard one. Well, where can we put him in that monument? Well, let's put him down here by the end here. You know what I'm saying? Like you got to understand from our bird's eye view. Sometimes it's hard to see where we're putting stuff and how we're configuring it. So just throw a ticket in, man. If you see some fuck shit that you think is like, how was I supposed to know that wasn't the exit, type shit, let me know, man. I'll take care of it. And like Aliana said, though, we just can't take care of it until the next run of the map because they're built into the map. So
I will say on kind of that aspect, like I mean, you're always welcome to apply to be one of our map testers, and you can run the monuments, whatever, and be like, hey, this is this difficult, that's this difficult, this needs amped up, it's way too easy, or hey, this one could we get a warning here for the boss. Then we could get to it before a map goes live.
A minute ago when I said I have two things to say, that was the other fucking thing. I couldn't remember it. So that was the other thing, Doc, is part of our map testing program, and actually the highest reward, we have in our map testing program that we pay the map testers is running our monuments and telling us how they would tweak it. Hey, this part of the monument needs more loot. That's just bullshit. This part of the monument was way too easy. I could cheese right through the whole thing. Oh, hey, you got a parkour course? I found a way to skip it and cheese that too. Oh, there's a fucking boss in this hallway? I thought this was the exit. I don't think that's a good idea. So believe it or not, part of our map testing program is literally run our content, tell us how to tweak it from a player perspective. And I mean that quite literally. That is part of their job description, is tell us how to change our content at a player's perspective.
And I mean, like on that aspect kind of too, like a lot of us, we're admins. Like none of us, I don't think any of us are like super amazing at the game. Like we're not top tier at the game. Like we play enough, we get around enough, we can do some things, but yeah, we're not like pro players. So it's like, okay, trying to tweak things to be like, all right, this is gonna be hard for the pros, it's gonna be easy for the noobs, or this will be hard for the noobs, but now it's easy for the pros. It's always difficult, and as well, like the bots, they wander. So like that one at the end of the tunnels, sometimes he might not be at the end of the tunnel, so you could get lucky and okay, I can make it into the room and get to cover, or you could get unlucky and well, he's standing right at the entrance to the tunnel and just fucking beamed me. So
yeah, honestly, maybe consider that, Doc. I mean, like, I'd like to think me and you are pretty close, dude. So maybe consider that, taking on map tester role and trying out some of the monuments ahead of time. That way you can give us that feedback ahead of time.
No, my lord. You don't want to hear more from me, but
I hear enough shit from you.
I'm taking too much time.
You fucked my steaks up the other day, damn it.
Yeah, well, yeah, I'll talk to you about it.
I did it way wrong. I'll talk to you about it later. All right, we got to move on, though.
All right.
Think about it, dude.
All right. We'll move on to the next person. Who we got? In Pizza We Crust.
Oh, God. Every damn meeting.
Right? Hello.
Hi, Pizza.
Yes, every meeting. No, F windmills. F windmills need to die. We all know this.
I'm just going to add one to the new player kit.
Don't you dare. Oh, my God. My server performance. Anyways, just wanted to say... Just wanted to say, everybody get effed on the crafting, because now you're gonna need a chair. Okay, pizza out.
Bye, Pizza. Jesus Christ.
Get effed.
All right, next we got Sophia.
Hello.
Hello.
A couple of things. One, it's my first time being here for I guess the entire wipe. I love it. Just want to throw it out there. You guys are doing an amazing job.
Welcome.
One part that he's not gonna like, I kind of bounced around some of the servers to kind of get a feel for them, and then I discovered pizza and got brought back to main one. So sorry, T.
You're looking better this wipe for sure. More split.
The last thing was kind of more a talking about the air quote building up people's asses. I know that I've seen this in other places, and I know you don't like plugins, so maybe this could be an alternative to it. I've seen it.
I'm just kidding.
I've seen a thing that people have done where they have a custom map or whatever, and then they divide the map up into sections and either a group or a solo, or depending upon the area, can claim said section, so that way people aren't building up people's asses so much. I don't know if that's a thing that could probably be looked into, tested for a map season.
We tried it in the past, believe it or not, not quite on that scale, but we tried it in the past with setting up. I don't know if anybody in here is old enough to remember that. Maybe Pizza. We actually had like this huge area in town. You could literally go to a vending machine. Each plot of land had like a TC on it with a code lock. In the vending machines in the real estate office, there was an actual real estate office. It was all decorated. You go in there and you could buy the codes to a TC on a plot of land that you wanted. It was all mapped out for you with A1, A2, B1, B2. You pick your plot. You can go buy the plot of land and all that good stuff. And yeah, there's a lot of old people here that remember that stuff. Anyway, the point there's two problems with that. A is we are highly against trying to micromanage players. I know half of you in the channel are scoffing at that right now. That's bullshit. You're always yelling at us. No, we really don't want to micromanage you guys. We really don't. We don't want to tell you where to build. We don't want to tell you how to play. We don't want to tell you how to build. None of that shit. The other side of that is when you provide players with a set place to build, they always feel they have to fill it to the max capacity they can. So someone that could have built a 2x3 and lived out of it just fine and probably would have, they're like, oh, damn, I could fit a 10x10 in this spot. Well, I'm going to build a 10x10 now. Why not? It's my spot. I'm going to build the whole thing. So it actually ends up being a double-edged sword. And I'm not just blowing your suggestion off because we did try this. We tried this a long time ago, and it was a nightmare. I don't remember if any of you guys were old enough to remember this, but remember the very last time when this ended, when this project ended, was because that one wipe, it was so overbuilt with shit that we were having to nuke bases from like 7 grids away with like any admin method. You remember that, dude? We were trying to like you could not even get within 7 grids of the middle of the map without just crashing.
14x scope or whatever. Like he's just pulling the 14x scope out and just fucking nuking bases from orbit because you could. Our admin nuke is a line of sight thing. So when we hit the command, it just does line of sight to whatever we're looking at. So literally to solve this problem, we had to just say, hey, whoever's in the middle of the map, I'm so sorry for this, but we have to delete these bases. We physically could not even log into our own server. We had to keep one admin positioned on the outskirts of the map, and he was our teleport person so that when we crashed, he could teleport us back to where we could log back in again, because if you were within like 7 grids of the map, you couldn't log back in anymore because it was so laggy from so many giant builds. So we had to try to nuke those things with a fucking 14 times scope or whatever they are. Yeah. It was insane, dude. It was absolutely insane. No, I see a little bit more as to what you're talking about, though, in case of like sectioning off, and it's not as like what T's talking about. Like we've tried it before around like fucking rivers where we like place a no build like square or whatever, and like okay, you can fit like a 5x5 in this area, and a 5x5 like then okay, here's like a 10x10 size no build zone, and then another 5x5. The problem we end up having with that is like even this current map, like we have a no build area near 000, right? And we still had people complaining, being like, what the fuck, why can't I build here? This is bullshit, there's nothing around, why can't I build here? And like we would get tickets on that, and they're like, why can't I build here? There's nothing around. And it's like, okay, well now we're gonna have to respond to all those, and it ends up causing more problems for us. It's a lot more management that we have to do then, and then somebody's gonna be like, hey, I put a TC down, and then suddenly some other guy showed up and put a TC on the very edge, and blah blah blah, and
raid bases would try to spawn there too, so that's another issue.
Yeah.
We gotta move on.
Yeah.
We're gonna move. Do you have any other questions?
Sorry. One, give McLaren a fucking promotion. He literally trolled the absolute shit out of me on like my first day.
Who?
McLaren.
McLaren. I can't get any higher. I can't get any higher.
Yeah, he's
that good shit.
He's a lead admin. Wait. So you're saying McLaren was in game?
Yes.
What?
I call bullshit.
So I've been in game recently. I've trolled a fuck ton of people.
That's a switcheroo. That's a switcheroo. Then that means McLaren is actually trolling us.
No. No joke. Like literally the first day, I was by a river picking pumpkins or whatever, and he comes out of a bush and just like literally bombards me with flashbangs, and I'm just like so disoriented, don't know where the fuck.
That's awesome.
Great.
Yeah, I'm sad that October's over. We have fun trolling players. It's a good time.
But keep up the good work, you guys. And also, if the paper vending machine things go true, I don't want to hear a single fucking person bitching about windmills. Okay, bye.
All right. Yep, I agree. Matter of fact, just so you guys know, the paper vending machine he was just talking about is already in the next map. I already created them. They're there.
All right. Well,
So,
I don't
there you
have
go.
anybody requesting to speak. So.
All right. I guess I should start launching Rust.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. If the Q&A part is done, there's no questions and answers. Nobody even wants to cuss me out about crafting or none of that. Okay.
I mean, I'll
all right,
turn
cool.
it back on.
We
Let's see
did
if
that
anybody
enough.
joins.
No, we're good. Nobody wanted to say shit.
Nope.
so.
Well, we got Pizza
oh,
up,
here
we
we
got
go.
Sumi. Do we want to talk to either of them?
I don't want to hear from Sumi though.
Jesus, now people are popping in. I think people just forgot.
Right.
All right, let's see what Pizza says. What I'm gonna turn
Hey,
off requests.
wait.
but-
While she's running our, hey, in the meantime, players start getting in town in your games. Admins start getting to your servers.
Yeah, Mac and I are sitting on 2.
All right,
You
Pizza.
need to
what you
admin.
got?
I think Aliana's on Terminus.
Zombieland number
I'm
one.
like-
Every other server sucks ass.
That's what I'm saying, girl.
Yeah.
Okay.
Appreciate
Love
it.
you, T. Stay off my
Yes.
mountain. Everybody, stay off my mountain.
Oh God. What are we
I'm
gonna do with
logging
this?
into one and building on that mountain on purpose.
All right. Next, we got Sumi.
Hey,
What
what's up, guys? During the staff meeting, you guys mentioned something about the skin plugin. Is that something that's going to be changing, or is that off the table for now?
I think we're still
No, that's
we're
still
working
happening.
on that. That one's still like being worked on. T, remember we're talking about the new skin plugin where we can charge RP for skin and all that.
Yep. Oh yeah, that's still gonna be.
We're
happening.
still looking into that. We gotta configure a bunch of stuff, and we just don't have the time right now. But it'll
Yeah.
probably change, and we'll,
Okay,
we'll
that's
talk
cool.
about it in
That's
the
what I
next
wanna know.
meeting most likely.
Okay, yeah, that's all I want to know. Thank you, guys. Sorry.
Yep.
And of course, test 2 is down. I gotta reboot this thing real
All
quick.
right. Next, we got Scarlet Sunset.
I
Hello.
just wanted to say that when you guys were describing that old plot system, I remember that was back when I first started playing Rust.
That was a nightmare, wasn't it?
Oh, that was.
It was messy because I remember getting a plot and then like starting to build a little bit and I had to get off for the day and then I got on the next day and the moment I loaded in I crashed. I was like, tried to load in again. I crashed. It was
It was terrible. Yeah, it was terrible, dude.
Man, I love getting back on the server after that long of a time. It's been a few months. But yeah, thank you guys for all your hard work. And
Yep.
I guess
Hey, thanks for being here.
All right. Next, we have Ferrotech.
Hey guys, how's it going? I
Hey,
just
what's
want to say, your guys' skill system is by far, like, from playing on other PvE servers, one of the best I've seen, especially with the way it's orchestrated. One of the things now that I complimented it though, the node search for miners, like a lot of us don't just use it. I was wondering if you thought about maybe repurposing that for something else, like maybe with the crafting stuff changing, doing like a tier 3, like we don't need a tier 3 to craft if we have that as an ultimate, or maybe a rocket launcher that could hold 3 rockets or 2.
So we're limited. We're limited to like game mechanics, like what Rust actually allows, and what the plugin allows. And I don't think any of that stuff, or whatever stuff can happen.
So the good news is,
because like I played on other servers and they allow the other. I don't know how it works, but they do have like, I played on other ones that have rocket launchers and
That's plugins.
that's just extra plugins. That's
Yeah.
not part of the skills plugin.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the skills plugin doesn't have the capability to do that for an ultimate. I have a laundry list of things I've suggested to him. I've suggested an entire tree to him for raid skills, like increase damage to buildings, increase this. Like I've written it all up, like just detailed as shit to him. So if he ever listens to me, you'll get all kinds of new stuff. But sadly, none of those things are part of that plugin right now.
Okay.
The other servers basically just have less players or whatever and can run different plugins and we've tried. I think we have 500 something plugins in our catalog that we've bought over the years and right now we've shaved it down to 70. So like just all about plugins.
Yeah, but just props, you guys did a really good job on it. I mean,
Appreciate
there's
it.
only like
Thank
two skills that seem kind of weird, and that's just the one I've seen a lot of other people talk about.
Yeah, we props to the players though, man. We had a couple dozen players spend over a month fully testing that with us. So that was a lot of work.
Yep.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Well, I mean that's it. So.
Cool. All right, I'm booting test 2 because it was stalled. And while that's booting, everybody start getting into your server. Go to town. We're gonna have an admin on each. Looks like Nola is on 1. Looks like nobody is on light. Oh, Trigger's on light. Same thing. Love you, Trigger. Bushwookie and MacLear are on 2, and Aliana's on Terminus. Whoa. That's crazy. And old Coot is over there talking trash about me. I'm not even on the server. Jesus. Oh, by the way, just while you guys are booting up Rust and getting to your towns. So I don't know if this is going to happen. I'm trying my hardest. I made a deal with the staff. If we can have a full month of maps ready to go, in other words, when Force Wipe happens, the rest of that month, the maps are already done and ready. If we can do that for December, I'm going to play a full wipe on my own servers, and I mean a full wipe. I don't mean log in as T-Bird and goof off. I mean I have a second Rust, no admin abilities. I'm just a normal everyday player. Don't even have Vet Gold, nothing. I'm going to log in on wipe day, and I'm going to play the whole fucking wipe, and including PvP day at the very end. I'll follow the same rules that the admin team follows. I have to be in voice where they can see me if I'm PvPing, so that they know I'm not up to shenanigans. The bad news is, for some of you who want to kill my ass, is I'm going to do this on Terminus. So, in December, I'm hoping the second wipe of December, not the Force Wipe, because I'm too busy on Force Wipes. I'm hoping the second wipe of December, I'm going to play a full wipe as a player, no admin whatsoever. Just chill out, take a vacation, and play on my own server for the first time in 4 fucking years.
Well, there goes the Terminus pop.
Yep, so be ready for that, because I'm going to school all you noobs. I'm just kidding. I suck at this game. You guys are gonna kick the shit out of me on PvP day, that's for sure.
The NPCs are gonna kick the shit out of you.
Yeah. I've never even completed a hard raid. Like, come on. But anyway, so yep. Terminus in December. My goal is to play a full wipe. So if you've ever wanted to kill me, other than real life, which is most of you, there's your chance. If you want to do it in real life, I do shoot back, so be careful. And even better is that wipe will also, by the way, I'm just rambling because I'm waiting for the test server to boot up. That wipe is also, if I'm correct, that will be your Christmas map you're working on, right, Aliana? The second wipe?
Hoping.
Well, there we go. So not only will I be playing on my own server as a normal player on Terminus, it'll be a map that I had no part in, so I don't even know the secrets. Huh? How about that shit? Make Terminus PvP. You know, our Terminus server used to be PvP. Good times. I miss when it was PvP at night and PvE during the day. That was the best. That was my favorite.
Yeah, people exploited it though.
They did, but you know, some people found some funny ways to exploit things that back then. We had this one guy. So it was PvP at night and PvE during the day. And we had this one guy that that was back when we had the thing where when you died, your corpse like rose as a zombie and like would fight. So this one guy, like, there were people literally just waiting around his base to raid him for it to become night. And he knew it too. He was by himself, and there's like 3 people waiting to raid him. So what he did is he kept running out. He kept running out behind his base, like in like the courtyard, you know, like where the high walls and stuff were. And he just kept killing himself and going back. And then he would spawn back in his base and kill himself over. And by the time like night came, he had his own fucking horde in the base to help defend it. It was fucking hilarious. It was like the smartest tactic in the world. I was like, man.
All right. Well, I am ending the recording. So.
Okay.